Happer and Schaefer. Happer and Schaefer. It's Connor and Mike. Yeah. Happer and Schaefer. Happer and Schaefer. Happer and Schaefer. It's Connor and Mike.
All right, good morning and welcome in. Happy Monday. It's Happer and Schaefer here on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Mike Schaefer, Joey Warcola with you this morning. Hi, guys.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
What's up?
Not a ton. Just coming off of a weekend. We've got a 3-game men's college World Series.
We
final.
did it.
Hooray! We still really haven't had any drama.
That's right.
Like any late inning drama, which is still amazing to me. But we do have the ultimate elimination game. The winner gets a title. The loser gets what ifs. And it's here.
Maybe
on 1620 The Zone.
Maybe the circumstances will give us one good game tonight. One good game is all we ask for. I didn't check the updated numbers yesterday, but our dear friend Rob Anderson was keeping a tally of the run differential average through the entire series. I think we're up
6-2 yesterday, so 4.
That was yesterday.
That's actually one of the closer games.
It is.
Of
the
tournament.
It made the differential average go down.
Yeah.
I think it was like 5.5.
Yeah.
Going into yesterday, or potentially more than 5.5 going into
Kugler
yesterday.
was talking about it in the first game, and it was 5.6 or something like
and
that.
And that was larger than 5.
Yeah, and then it came back. He said the most in recent memory, they had a year within like the last 5, maybe 6 years, where it was like 5.9, 6 runs.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah, Rob, this is from a couple days ago. The only years with larger margin of victory average than we are basically in the area that we are basically currently sitting right now, 1947, when there was only 2 games. And I don't know, that wasn't here. I think it was in Kalamazoo. 1990, 1957, and 1952.
Yeah, I wonder what he was referencing that, or maybe I don't know. Maybe I missed it. But
so on paper, we're headed toward
historic territory.
I was going to say something even more bombastic, but let's stick with historic territory.
36 years effectively to your closest neighbor, right?
Yeah.
That's older than you.
It is older than me. I was not born yet in 1990. I wish I was.
Do you?
Yeah.
What would have changed for you if you were alive?
A ton. I would have graduated in 2008 instead of 2010. Wow. And then,
do you like those people more?
No. Although I do like them. But not more.
Connor wants more time in the 90s.
Central class of 2008. Connor liked you.
Maybe I'd have more wisdom to handle these sinkholes that are opening up around town better.
There's
Sinkhole
another one.
Watch. We did it again.
Yeah,
now,
it's amazing.
They're right near where we're installing tracks for the streetcar. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Exciting.
38th and Farnham. I think that's where it was.
Look, there's just a building that's just hanging over into
nothing. It's hanging over nothing.
Oh man.
Multiple different texts text groups of people wondering, is Omaha the sinkhole capital of the world?
So I think we've had 3 pretty major ones now in the last 2 or 3 years. I want to say.
Well, certainly
we've had 2 in the last 3 months.
Yeah, I was gonna say like just 2 big ones in 5 months or whatever.
I think wasn't that May or am I missing this?
It was older than May.
It was April or March.
Okay.
That truck just backing up.
Yep. Everybody in slow motion just falling right into it. That did not happen yesterday because, fortunately and unfortunately, the street, I believe, is closed to prepare for streetcar preparations. And
good decision, yeah.
Great decision. Many of the businesses are saying
streets
so.
Can't handle both the construction.
There goes the other one.
Oh, it was in February.
Wow. Time really moves fast, folks. Sal writes in, I've walked over that sidewalk 3 days a week for the last 3 months. Sal, I'm glad you are not inside the sinkhole.
Yeah, I'm glad no one is inside the sinkhole.
Me too. It doesn't seem like it anyway. I didn't hear about any injuries or anything like that. So yes, here we are. We have a winner take all game in college baseball tonight. Extremely exciting. Once again, maybe our patience will be rewarded with a good game, but that doesn't mean we haven't had some fun in the in between. We'll get to a little bit of that today. North Carolina and Oklahoma. I think I predicted on Friday anyway that I thought North Carolina would win in 3. I think you said the same, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Joey, where were you at? You said Oklahoma, right? Because you're a contrarian.
Yeah, I had Oklahoma in 3.
Oklahoma in 3. Okay. We will find out.
One of us will be right. Well, 2 of us could be.
2 of us could be right, and one of us.
Or one could be right.
Or one could be right. There was the World Cup that happened over the weekend. There was a man that tried to blow a huge lead at the U.S. Open. That happened this weekend. That's always drama. That's always fun to watch.
I didn't realize my friend group that really cares about professional golf doesn't like Wyndham Clark.
Really?
So they were rooting against him, as were many of the people in attendance throughout the
That's
event.
interesting. I don't know enough about Wyndham Clark to have an opinion on him.
I learned that he vandalized the locker room after struggling last year at the U.S. Open, and he got banned from the course indefinitely until he made amends. So there was
I gotta see
a lack
this.
of decorum, if you would, from Wyndham Clark.
Interesting.
So they were openly rooting against him. Plus, I mean, people wanted the drama, but it resulted in people being kicked out of the event for screaming things right as he was swinging.
That I would like more decorum in that category.
Not just decorum. You have a ticket. It doesn't give you a license to be a jerk.
It's just not.
So I didn't have any real thoughts on Wyndham Clark. I still really don't.
So what did he do to the locker? I gotta see this picture. Okay, I see a picture now.
Yeah.
Oh, so there's these old wooden lockers, but instead of it being entirely wood panel the entire way, there's like a mesh kind of in between with a framing of wood, and a couple of the mesh panels were kicked out.
Yeah,
or something like that.
They got him barred from the course.
Oh, come on!
He had to take an anger management.
Anger management?
Yeah, no, there's a whole thing about.
He had to go to class.
Yeah,
he kicked a locker. So what?
They were mad.
Oh my goodness!
And then the fans were mad, or at least my friends were mad. I don't know. It felt performative.
Banned from Oakmont, huh? I don't know. Based on the damage that I've seen right now, I'm going to say that he's off the hook. This is not. This
well,
is
as
not
a two-time U.S. Open winner, I'm guessing he'll be allowed to play there the next time that it comes up.
I thought it was banned.
Well, he has paid for the damage and done what was necessary.
That seems good.
So I don't think he pretended like he didn't do it.
Kicking a locker gets you banned.
Well, I think breaking the locker, if you just lightly kick it, maybe you don't get banned.
Yeah, I mean, yes, there is damage. That's a ban. I mean, you would think that that's just maybe a brief suspension.
I was reading up on this, and in the PGA of the same year, PGA Championship, the fake major, major number 4, happens in May. He also got in trouble for striking and basically ruining a sponsor's sign at the event.
Okay. All right.
Shot.
Now we're changing it a little bit. If we have a history, if we have a pattern, then things are a little bit different.
Sure.
I didn't know about that. Okay.
But there was none of that yesterday.
No
as
punching.
He managed to hold on.
But you could imagine how much punching there would have been if he would have lost.
Well, I'm not sure how much you were watching this or familiar.
0.
with it.
I didn't watch a shot.
The guy he ends up beating, or that was at 3 under in the clubhouse, Sam Burns, was leading after what would that have been? 54 holes last year. And so he was the leader going into, and he had a fairly substantial lead in the U.S. Open, and then he blew it. And so, he was actually really emotional finishing in the clubhouse because I think he had an opportunity to get to 4 under and couldn't do it. And you could see when they were showing coverage of him, he was really emotional. And then he's standing out there waiting to see if anything happens with Wyndham Clark. And so on one end of it, you have a guy who just did what Wyndham Clark is trying to avoid doing, but then he's in position to play him in the playoffs should it happen. So there was like some extra intrigue with all of that. But
Okay, I
didn't
like
come
that.
to fruition.
I always like the drama of the guy
A little
who's
extra, yeah.
the guy who's in the clubhouse
Yeah.
and he's just sitting on every single shot because he's halfway rooting for the guy and because that's what they do in
Well,
golf.
I think it'd be like a weird duality of like you've lived with this, you know how much it sucks to basically blow a major in the final.
It's pain.
Final 9 holes.
I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy.
Yeah.
But then
And
you
then-
actually are in the moment.
For you to win your first major, you need this to happen.
Yeah. It changes things a little bit. All right. So that was the US Open this weekend. We also had the World Cup. So I'm sure we'll give we'll give Joey an opportunity to just go ham on the World Cup.
Yeah, we had some crazy matches throughout the weekend, including yesterday's another draw from our very good friend out in Cape Verde.
Yeah, Cape Verde is stealing
who may be going into the knockout rounds.
All right.
they're
Get
the
him in
team
there.
of the tournament.
That's exciting.
All they do is draw with everybody.
Well, they draw with the two best teams in that group, Uruguay and Spain, and they got Saudi Arabia left.
So
Yeah,
you could get your way through just by drawing.
Pretty much.
Disgusting. What a disgusting game that
A
we
draw
have.
is not a loss.
Yeah, I'm aware, but it's not a win either.
They don't tell you that part.
Cape, but I am generally in support of Cape Verde making.
Hey, this
their way
time they
through.
scored. So
They scored twice.
Yeah,
They were up 1-0, and then
they
Uruguay
conceded
scored
2 goals.
Yeah,
That's right. You could not even score and get points.
The
in
way
soccer.
the way Cape Verde ended up tying
Sick.
that game was crazy. Just it was from a throw in by Uruguay, and they threw into harm's way, and the goalie went out of the goal box, and a Verde player just literally stole the ball and just kicked it right into the goal. It was mental mistake.
Egypt beat New Zealand. Does that mean anything to you? New Zealand.
That's their first World Cup victory.
Oh,
winning
congrats.
3-1.
It's kind of big because it gives them control of that group, which sets up a potential matchup with the United States.
Belgium drew
Oh, do we want to play Egypt?
Nobody in the group is currently playing well, so
Sick.
right now.
I liked when everyone was slated to tie.
So right now, from what I saw, we are set to play Bosnia at the moment.
But then the round of 16 would potentially be the winner of this group.
Yeah,
With all
which
of those.
Belgium hasn't. I don't think Belgium has scored yet. They drew in their first two
drew both
games.
yeah.
So, are we going to smash whoever we play next? Well, I mean, I know we have one more group.
Yeah,
game.
there's Turkey.
So there's Turkey, and then there's your first, which is now a round of 48.
That's the
because
one
they
that I'm referring
expanded.
to. Yeah,
Should draw a team that has not performed well.
excellent.
So
Yeah, a third place team from
Yeah.
like
So,
five
what do you
particular
think?
Groups.
Are we going like Sweet 16,
they
Elite
have
8?
a terrific chance to get to the 8 teams remaining.
Yeah, they got a good chance of getting to the quarterfinals.
Oh, that's
So-
good. That's good.
Yeah, whether they do or not, we'll find out. But
Making the Elite 8 is awesome.
yeah, I mean, yes, especially for this soccer
You just
team.
got to get to those last couple seconds and get over the hump.
If you get to the semifinals, then you get to play in a third place game.
Disgusting. I'd forfeit that. Where
do
do they put that?
They had that in Miami. The
Ah.
championship games in.
I was going to say
I
Galveston.
think either in Miami or Atlanta is where the
championship.
where no.
I'm wondering where the
Met-
third place game is.
third place game.
Don't you-
MetLife has the
Don't you think
championship
that
game.
they should put it in like Tulsa or something? Or Fargo?
I mean, they would have to reconfigure the stadium for the liking of the soccer athletes.
No, they wouldn't. It's a third place game. Nobody cares.
You just play it as it lies.
Some players might be playing some
Play it
club
in-
action in Europe
play
right
it
after the
in-
tournament's done.
Play it in Pueblo, Colorado. Why not? Go to some outpost of America.
Good luck with that, Dan.
Yeah.
It'd be a tough sell.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we have 4 additional World Cup games going on today.
Yes, we do.
Excellent. Joey will be locked in at noon. Joey, you got to get out of here, right? You got to watch the World Cup.
Yes, I got to watch the World Cup.
All right. Starting.
I
at
may be
noon.
watching some of the World Cup tomorrow during the midday show. I'm filling in for Odson for the midday show tomorrow
Okay. Nice.
for
Going back to
a
back.
good portion,
Very, very good.
depending on how long it takes to tear everything down at the baseball village.
Yes, Chris needs help because his shoulder exploded on him.
Oof,
It's a couple years going now that
Yeah.
there's been some injuries for injuries / illnesses. at the
Whoa.
College World Series, it all tends to jumble up on you. And then, of course, there's no time for you to care about your own well-being. And so by the end of it, everyone's just dead. And that's where we're at right now. A lot of media yesterday.
But we're very much alive.
I'm alive. A lot of the media yesterday. There was some eye rolls. There was some. Let's come on, Oklahoma. Let's get this thing going. But no, instead we get a winner-take-all national championship game tonight. We'll have some on that coming up in just a little while.
Hooray!
Tim Verghese will join the show coming up at 8:30 to talk about Croots. Do Croots like jerseys?
Do they like New Jersey?
Do they like dancing football players? They brought out
Undoubtedly.
the dancing football players. So we will see if Tim talked to the recruits about those items coming up at 8:30 today. Michael Bruntz will join us at 9:15. That is our lineup today. Also coming up, our man of the weekend in about a half hour here. We will tell you who did the best this weekend in our eyes. Elsewhere, we'll have more on Game 3. We'll talk about annoying stories in college football, maybe some NFL talk, maybe the United States soccer team, maybe Caden Glauber, maybe Kenny Minchie, maybe Dylan Raiola.
Oh, he's back?
Yep. There was
that huge guy.
All right, perfect timing on that one. I saw Doug, the old man Doug, drop by this weekend at the Omaha Baseball Village.
Look at
Wow.
It was great. And then I had to read a Pinnacle Bank read. And he
no.
it's like, sorry, Doug. It's all right. He had his Creighton quarter zip on and his Nebraska hat, and he was very excited to show it.
The man plays to his type.
He
for
sure does.
Did you see that guy who likes to stick around in the baseball, football stadiums was in Omaha?
Oh, yes, I did
Yeah,
see that.
he was there. G-Fed.
Mr. G-Fed.
He
Okay,
was in Omaha.
there's no way you know who G-Fed is.
Not a
No chance.
Not a chance.
Okay, this is great. I don't know how I'm going to explain to Mike Schaefer.
He likes to stick around in stadiums, so he tries to be the last person
Well,
in
and
there.
he tours in the stadiums as well. He'll go like into the club suites. He'll try to get to
So
the locker rooms or get to field level.
The original bit that he did was he would try to stay in stadiums as long as he possibly could before someone would find him or get kicked out or whatever it was. Sometimes, like I think there was a couple times where he ended up staying overnight at places. It's sort of funny.
It's fun to watch.
And then he kind of started driving around he would just tour places and like try to get into them, like unannounced. He would show up to Michigan Stadium and try and get in the locked gate or whatever it is, like Joey did that one time. Joey did not do any vandalism or anything like that.
I just gave them the fingers.
And then so I don't really know what the bit is right now, other than he has created a platform for himself.
Gotcha.
And now he's he has takes about stadiums and things like that. So he shows up to the College World Series yesterday, and he documented that the folks within a pretty short period of time came up to him and they were like, don't try staying in this stadium, buddy. We'll find you, which they will. For the NCAA and the Mecca security,
They're going to be
tight.
thorough.
Yeah, it's pretty tight.
So
They know what's going on.
Before this was like an internet sensation bit, a local media member was just doing this for his own enjoyment.
Okay.
And he's on our rundown today. Michael Bruntz has done this multiple times.
He just stayed at stadiums
on when he drives by random stadiums. He used to. I don't know. Maybe as a father, he's a changed man now. But he would just get out at Notre Dame Stadium and try to find a way into the stadium, and then just go take pictures from the field level.
Yeah,
so
I think this is the case probably with a lot of people.
Right. There was a time we were in Nashville for a work conference, and our hotel was right next to the baseball stadium. And so we wandered around and we found a gate where if I held it at just an angle, he could army crawl underneath.
Nice.
So he did, and then went down and took photos from the field level.
Nice.
And so that was the only time that I helped him do this. But We'll have to ask how many stadiums he's done this with.
I love the
But
stadiums.
Assembly Hall, he's like, I was wandering around Assembly Hall and there's a door that was just like perched
See,
open.
those are the
And
best.
so he's like, I went through and it was like a janitor's area. And he's like, water, you seem like you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So he's just able to walk to the court.
And chances are, if you're there while a game is not happening, nobody's going to say anything, and nobody really cares anyway. And so you're kind of just walking through.
Well,
I guess
a lot of them are public buildings.
exactly. So the best ones is because everybody has done a certain amount of this in their lives. You get out, you're like, I want to see this stadium. Sometimes the doors are just wide open.
Yeah,
they're just open, and you just walk right in. You can go wherever you want on the field. I've done that at a couple of college football stadiums across the country. Actually, now that I think about it, you just walk on in.
They're designed to have people, so why wouldn't they want you in there?
Exactly. You would have wide open doors, easy access to get in. No, so I don't know how the GFed guy turned out, but I think he was hanging out with our dear friend Karen.
Yes, he was, and he went to a local establishment last night because he was asking for dinner recommendations.
Okay,
trying to remember the place he went. It was the place that you could feed the raccoons, feed fried chicken to raccoons.
Oh, he went to Homie.
No, that's not. It's
Alpine.
Alpine.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, sorry, I got.
But yeah, I think he'll be there for tonight's game.
Champagne on tap.
Drinking champagne on tap. Yeah, I get those two places confused for some reason. They occupy the same space in my brain.
We've only been to one of them.
Yeah, looks like he did go to Alpine to get some chicken. Look at that. Shout out to GFed. Hopefully he enjoys his time in Omaha. We have people already commenting on the YouTube stream with their takes about jerseys.
Oh
boy.
When do we talk about this?
I mean, you could go at any time with it, really. I
think it's the big topic of the day.
Yeah, it sounds like we got to throw it in at 7 and then come back at 9.
I think you have to
double it up.
I think we have to do at least 46 minutes on this today.
Okay, all right. We'll see what sort of adjectives I have by minutes 44 and 45 and 46.
The stripes they
describe New Jersey. The Red Sea rising.
Just to be clear, they are still red. And the helmets didn't change, and the pants are still white, and they all still have stripes on them.
It's not the 2002 pants,
but the stripes are different and located in different places, and the numbers are different.
Yeah, the numbers are probably the most visible change for me right off the bat.
Definitely.
So. Yeah, this was the big announcement.
Oh, it was a huge.
So I think we deserve to, or we owe it to the people to spend a lot of time talking about the big announcement.
Hit us up 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Call or text that number. Tweet at us at @HappenSchaefer, at Connor Happer, at Mike J. Schaefer on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. Email Connor, Mike, or Joey at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. And we say good morning to our YouTube streamers today. Hi, everybody. Where Debo, by the way, writes in, he says, Brady Kachuk to the Panthers. Wow, what a Father's Day blockbuster trade. Can't wait to hear the boys break this one down.
Yeah, I did see this happen.
You did?
I did not put it on our rundown as I didn't feel like either of us were in position to comment.
I didn't even know it happened. I barely knew the U.S. Open happened.
We'll leave it for Matt McMaster to break down.
Yeah, it feels like a Matt topic.
I cannot wait. So those are all the ways to get in touch with the show. We appreciate you being here on this Championship Monday here in Omaha. We're back after this on 1620 The Zone.
Good luck with that, Dan.
All right, welcome back. Just about 6:30 here on Happer and Schaefer, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. As we wrap up with the College World Series tonight, we look ahead to the remainder of the summer. Happy official summer, not just Happer and Schaefer summer, by the way, to everybody, but official summer now that we have turned past June 21st. And we're looking ahead to some of the other festivities we have coming up, like the 4th of July. And 1620 The Zone is giving away pairs of tickets to the Storm Chasers game on Friday, July 3rd, where they host Indianapolis. Remember, the Chasers are home on the 3rd and the 4th this year, and that will create a Freedom Weekend. They're kicking off their weekend-long celebration for America's 250th fireworks after the game, and the guys from Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Who are the guys? Oh, it's Josh and Matt today that are hosting Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Special edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Exciting. Matt loves being at the Omaha Baseball Village.
He's going to live there.
He is going to hobnob. He might be setting a record for most hobnobs.
Is he going to G-Fed the Omaha Baseball Village? Just stay over there?
He might. He might be the G-Fed.
Well after the CWS.
I don't know how he's going to respond to just being back in the studio doing normal shows pretty soon.
I don't either. It's hard. I can't imagine him in with walls around him.
Yeah,
you know, he's like a wild animal out there. He's just anyone he sees is like start a conversation with him.
Yeah, no, you got heckled to start our show on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from Austin Jacobson.
Oh, good. I'd like to hear this rant.
So basically, those two had gone out on Friday night, and one thing led to another, and Matt ended up with Austin's ID. And so Austin had to come over and get his ID right before our show started. And then Matt proceeded to tell the story on air, but a very condensed version of the story.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't make him probably look as bad as it actually was. So, and then he was just getting heckled by Austin for about 10 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah, it was good.
Fantastic.
It's an enjoyable experience.
Good job, Austin.
You can look forward to a lot
Proud
of
you.
young Matt today.
But just don't leave your IDs around him. Don't take them.
So he's at the Village too, right?
Austin?
No. Matt's show is at the Village.
Yeah,
right?
he's at the Village today.
Okay, we're the only one. We're the
if
only ones who are not at the Village.
We need to figure out if we're just going up to 954 today, or if we are having a. I'm assuming we're just going to 954.
Maybe.
So
we'd have to text Matt.
Have we done a crossover from the Village?
Yeah, we could do a crossover from the
right.
from the
I don't
Village.
know if we could or couldn't.
Because it won't go into Village Clock today.
Okay.
It won't go into Village Clock until
that
2.
was my big question.
Yeah.
All right. That explains that.
Radio behind the scenes. Village Clock is different than real
Very
radio
different.
clock. Very, very, very different.
Running a show on Village Clock, and this is the one time I've ever said I could use a big clock here. And I said it to Josh, and he looked at me and he acknowledged it. He knew where I was going.
Yeah, it's a different deal. No, he's not going to be doing a show on Village Clock today. He's got a real life
makes
deal.
way more sense.
So we'll see. We'll have to text him when he wakes up, or maybe it'll be an hour or something like that. Anyway, speaking of the College World Series, we have a Game 3 National Championship final tonight. First time in a few years. I am very excited about the potential for a good game.
Hooray!
This evening.
Good game.
I could not believe that yesterday was the first time in Game 2, really the entire series, that we saw any hint of Oklahoma kind of being human. There was those brief moments at the end of toward the end, or I suppose toward the middle of that 2-1, 2-0 Georgia game, the basically the bracket championship where Georgia needed to win twice in order to make the finals. And Georgia got the bases loaded, and they walked a couple guys, and it was 5-3.
Yep.
And then they shut it down. Phelps grounded out, and that was sort of it. I was like, ooh, something could be brewing here, and Georgia just didn't take advantage of it. Yesterday, there were several miscues from Oklahoma that were just uncharacteristic of them, and they're not going to be perfect all the time. Several miscommunications in the outfield, a weird skip and a hop on Jackson Willits out at shortstop. You just had some odd things sort of happen in that game, and then speaking of odd things, it turns into a situation where Ryan Lynch, the starter for North Carolina, is cruising, settling in. And then, boom, all of a sudden, he's got to come out of the game because he's got an oblique, and he's like, I can't do this anymore. But guess what? North Carolina has a 12-year-old named Caden Glauber who throws 96 and blows it by everybody with ease. He settled in. He did that for about 4 innings, and that was kind of your story yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, his line yesterday, 5 innings, 1 hit, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. Like, if North Carolina wins, he would be my vote for the most outstanding player. Like, that's who I would give it to. They've needed him in every basically critical moment of the series.
Every game they've won, he's pitched.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know. Again, the comparison I made, and this goes back 20 years, but it reminds me of Kevin Gunderson for Oregon State, where they would go to him when they needed him, pitch multiple innings out of relief, kind of more of a fireman than like a closer. And it's going to be interesting because they theoretically don't have them today. I mean, I can't imagine that is after 5 innings, you're going to go back to, even if you're just getting 1 out, it feels pretty.
I would say that I would actually be pretty surprised if he didn't pitch tonight.
Wow. You're going to get the baseball people up in arms.
Oh, I know. Those don't listen to those idiots. Those people.
Well, yeah, I'm not telling people to listen to them.
Yeah.
I'm saying that those people have largely shouted out that from the game.
I know.
So, yeah.
I know. That sucks.
If he's able to pitch today, that would be amazing, too. It only cements my belief that he's the most outstanding player.
There's already a good case. If that happens and they win it tonight and he gets any outs in the ballgame whatsoever, then yeah, I would support that vote.
He's the only.
Honestly, you probably do you have a vote? Did you get the email?
I got the email yesterday, but knowing that it was going to go into the game 3, I didn't submit anything.
Perfect.
So today I will be submitting my vote.
Schaefer disseminating his vote. Caden Glauber, MVP of the
I don't know.
entire
Is it?
College World
I didn't
Series.
look at the fine print. Is me talking about it on air
I don't
going to
believe
cause
so.
me to lose my vote?
I think it's okay.
There are some votes where you are not allowed to discuss it.
There are.
This is not one of them.
This is definitely not one of them. I think, yeah, this is definitely
Okay.
not one. This is
Excellent.
not one
Well,
of them.
he's the front runner for me if North Carolina wins.
And now we have a whole day to figure out who we are going to vote for all tournament
Yeah.
team, and we can sort of parse through it and do all those different things.
Is there someone else that comes to mind for you for North Carolina in specific?
Not for North Carolina. I mean, for North Carolina, the other option I think would be Hull. But
Yeah,
who had a home
a
run
couple big
yesterday.
home runs in this College World Series for sure.
Which I don't think you could go wrong with either choice. And then
Right.
for Oklahoma, it seems pretty obvious that it would be Dayton LaChance.
Yep. Though he did have he had his worst day of the tournament yesterday.
He was doing some interesting stuff yesterday too. The North Carolina dugout was kind of barking. There was both sides were pretty unhappy.
You're getting a little chippy.
Pretty unhappy with some home plate umpiring yesterday. And so there was some barking, and LaChance would just kind of look over to his right where the North Carolina dugout was and kind of smile and like that Oklahoma team, man, they have some real swagger about them. It's a confident group.
They've been playing like it up until yesterday, basically.
Even down to Mercurius yesterday, who, I wouldn't say that it exuded confidence from him, but he sort of wore it on his sleeve a little bit, got beat up, somehow fought his way through and really grinded it out as long as he could yesterday on the mound for Oklahoma. Ended up getting taken out of the game, and Oklahoma just sort of, they basically punted the last 2 or 3 innings with Glauber in the game, which is huge. I mean, that's his, and like I said, his masterpiece Glauber's was yesterday, but maybe he has one more masterpiece in him tonight. My guess would be, yes, like this is without knowing any of the situations that we could potentially get tonight. Obviously, if it's 6-0
Sure.
Oklahoma and it's the 8, no.
But I mean, they also brought in a 12 to whatever situation against West Virginia,
Yep.
where more than
12-5.
likely you have a back end arm that can prevent 7 runs from coming in.
Yeah.
They still went to him.
Yeah, I think the threshold for if he does pitch tonight is going to be a little bit smaller, and certainly
Sure.
the window for the amount of pitches that he is going to be able to throw
Can't be more than
effectively.
an inning.
Yeah, I just think you can only know as you go along through the game. This is, there's so many fascinating angles to a one playoff game.
That's why I'm so glad we have it, because it does add the intrigue and drama that has been so much not here.
You just have to figure out what your most important out or 2 outs or 3 outs of this game are. And for that, I think it has to be him. I think it has to be Glauber. He's 18 years old.
Do we have a guess for expected starters today?
Yeah, I think they're going to go with North Carolina won't go with Folger Boaz, but they'll probably go with Rose would be my guess. And then Oklahoma's going to go with Waslowski like they did in their 3rd game. So basically, this is what we liked about the series in the first place. It kind of set up pretty well from a pitching perspective. But everybody's available. It's one of those things. I wouldn't even be surprised if you saw game 1 starters come back and get a couple outs and stuff like that tonight. It's just, you have to figure out how effective can they be compared to the people that we could be putting out there. How many trusted arms do you have, and how many outs can they get you combined tonight? It's really it's a puzzle. It's a math equation. It's fascinating. That's why I hope we have a good game. That way
you can see the chess maneuvering of the board.
The wheels start turning. So we will see what's in store for us tonight down at the College World Series. The final game of the college baseball season is tonight. People are saying that we're in the golden age of college baseball, by the way.
Okay.
I would have a hard time disagreeing. We've had some great players.
Started the year in February asking if college baseball is having a moment. We had Matt McMaster asked if we were going to do a college baseball segment every week or so, which effectively we sort of did, just following Nebraska all year.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it would be hard for me to push back on. I feel like it's been building this way for a while, so definitely, hopefully this is by no means the apex of it, because if it is, the series was a little underwhelming.
Maybe America gets what they asked for tonight. Of course, it'll have to go up against Panama and Croatia in the World Cup world, and then Colombia and the Congo tonight. Those games are in Canada and Mexico. They're in Toronto and Guadalajara. All right. We'll take a quick break. Our man of the weekend is coming up next as we round out the 6 o'clock hour right here on Happer and Schaefer on 1620 The Zone. All right, it's time for our man of the weekend. A lot of options. But only one each can be a man of the weekend or woman of the weekend.
Or a
thing
group
of the
or
weekend.
one group.
Group of the weekend. Sure. We'll count that. Joey, it sounds like you have something in mind. What do you have?
No, I was just making a suggestion. I have a human in mind from the U.S. men's soccer team, Mr. Alex Freeman, son of the legendary receiver. Well, not like super legend, but the Packer legend Antonio Freeman. Have you heard of the guy who made the catch? And Al Michaels said he did what
I do.
against the Minnesota Vikings?
I'm
Well,
aware.
anyway,
Joey was negative years old.
I was negative years old. Well, that was in the early 2000s.
I thought it was like 99.
It was somewhere
It was a
around
Monday
that time
night
frame.
football game.
Yeah, it was a Monday night football game. But anyway, Alex Freeman scored the insurance goal against Australia in Seattle, which propelled them to win 2-0. I want to give Alex Freeman the floor for man of the weekend, just because he's the son of a Packer great receiver.
They got an insurance run.
Yeah, it was an
Insurance run. They're brought to you by the Durham Western Heritage Museum.
I call it the insurance goal.
Okay.
Since they won 2-0.
It was also the only goal scored by the U.S.
Yeah, because the first one
in that, because they keep getting own goals from the other team.
Goal!
Which, if the other team keeps scoring on itself to start every game, the U.S. will win the World Cup.
I think that's good analysis.
Yeah,
I think you're right
sort of
about
analysis I can bring.
I will tell you my man of the weekend.
Okay.
It's a man that we've already talked about, and it's a boy. His name is Caden Glauber.
He is the boy of the weekend.
And admittedly, I haven't paid attention to much else aside from this College World Series, so it had to kind of come from this. I will tell you this, though. Out of the people who have pitched in this Men's College World Series that have pitched more than one time, he's obviously the most dominant figure in the entire series right now, but he has the lowest ERA out of anybody who's pitched more than once. And so Joey Volchko from Georgia, Dawson Matessa from West Virginia, Jackson Rose from North Carolina, who's about to pitch a second time tonight, and then Vigyu from Georgia, all did not allow a run in their innings that they pitched in Omaha. But it was only one appearance. Caden Glauber has allowed just one run over 10 and a third innings. He's struck out 15, and he's walked 3 with a .87 ERA. Once again, I reiterate, he should be a senior in high school right now. He enrolled early and is like, what do you think? Can you give us anything this year? We'll see what happens. And he is one of the most effective and dominant pitchers in college baseball. His team has not lost when he has pitched in the game this entire season, and his team has not lost when he has pitched in the game in Omaha this year either. What a man. I'd say he's a growing boy right before our eyes.
I hope that if he were to win most outstanding player for the College World Series, that when they put his bio together, for North Carolina on their website, that they include Happer and Schaefer man of the weekend, week of June 22nd.
Yeah. Boy of the weekend.
That would be great. We'll send it over to Bubba Cunningham.
I will.
Still haven't seen.
Okay, so I caught a glimpse of him yesterday. The elevator door was shutting, and I was like,
Please tell me the glimpse you caught was the top of his head.
It's like I wanted to get out and I wanted to do the selfie so bad, but it was a hectic time. I couldn't do it. I'm gonna find him tonight.
Oh, that's your mission?
Yes.
I want to shake your hand.
I want to shake your hand. I want to take a selfie with your forehead. That's exactly what I want to do. And we'll see if I can do that.
That'll be good. That'll be good.
Man on a mission.
My man of the weekend stays right here in Omaha as well, though his accomplishments happened elsewhere. Abraham Toro of the Omaha Storm Chasers hit for the cycle yesterday.
He did.
In the win for the Storm Chasers. They played in a crazy game against St. Paul that finished with St. Paul throwing a position pitcher out there.
Yes, I saw the clippy clips. Yeah, and I was like, whoa, it's a 12-12 game.
Now,
and
Toro,
and there's position players pitching.
Toro accomplished his cycle before we got to that point. So he had a single in the second, a triple in the third, a 2-run homer in the fifth, and a 3-run double in the eighth. So a big, big day for Abraham Toro. It is the third cycle for the Storm Chasers since the start of 2025.
Wow. Good
he
number.
joins Drew Waters,
Waters
and
World.
MJ Melendez as
Nice.
storm chasers to have hit for the cycle here
Nice.
recently.
I wonder if Jimmy Govern ever hit for the cycle? Did Freddie Fermin ever hit for the cycle?
I doubt Freddie.
These are great storm chasers of the past.
Yeah. So, but Abraham Toro, who, I remember in various Major League Baseball stints trying to work his way back up there topside here in the second half of the season. Maybe the cycle will propel him.
Maybe somebody will go on the injured list for a period of time, and it's
people have already for the Royals. He hasn't quite received that call yet.
well, we will see. There you go. Those are our people of the weekend. And if you guys have yours, you can send them our way, 402-951-1620. Of course, tweeted us on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed at Hap and Chafe. But coming up next, the moment you've all been waiting for, our breakdown of where stripes should be located
Let's go
on uniforms. Coming up on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. More of Happer and Schaefer here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Mike Schaefer, Joey Warcola with you here on Championship Monday in Omaha. The College World Series ends today.
Hooray!
Hooray! And then we can go back to I oftentimes, we'll get to the jerseys. I oftentimes, when I walk into the park at the Chuck Box, I try to imagine it like a month ago when I was doing Creighton baseball games there, and I oftentimes categorize them as two separate facilities. They're not even. It's not even the same building anymore. The colors and all the different things that are sort of going on, and then it goes back after the College World Series.
So,
it goes back to kind of the blank slate that it is.
So this is how I would feel whenever you're in that area and the Omaha Baseball Village isn't up.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
just
like,
a small parking lot.
I shouldn't be able to just see straight through. There needs to be tents, and that's a working street. That can't be a working street.
It's impossible.
No, it is wild. Like when life just resumes as normal.
Yep.
That area I don't know.
It just clears out.
It makes me sad.
It is
way.
sad.
Like when the village isn't popped up, it's like, what? I
wish we could get some stuff going down there.
My friends at the lemonade stand. That needs to be year round. You know?
Why is the guy not here selling T-shirts all year long?
But genuinely, there's a part of me that wants to come down for the afternoon show, not to be on the show or even say hi, just to get the lemonade one more time.
So I had this idea a couple years ago, and I was laughed at by many. I'm curious to hear, because you're an idea guy, Schaefer. So I wonder if you like this idea. My idea was College World Series in January. We all go down to the Omaha Baseball Village and the quote unquote Omaha Baseball Village, and we do a day of College World Series shows, and it's 4 degrees or whatever it is. And we act like it's the College World Series.
I have no idea why you were laughed at for this.
I was mocked.
When the first 8 comes to Omaha soon, that's when we'll do it, because it'll be cold.
That'll still be March.
It'll still be cold. There's cold days in March.
No, there's definitely cold days.
There's lots of cold days.
I like the idea because the inverse of the Christmas in July for College World Series
what I mean.
In January. It works for me. You don't have to sell me on this. Like,
of course.
We'll just have to we can tweak and come together with a plan on it, and it'll go nowhere. But I love the idea.
You've been around long enough. You know how things go.
I am learning.
All right. Speaking of learning, there was a big announcement at the Battle of the Boneyard with the Red Sea rising and all the different things. By the way, the Battle of the Boneyard took on a little bit of a different look with all the rain that we got on Saturday night. Sadly,
they didn't go inside.
Yeah, I wasn't really able to kind of come to fruition as far as the fan participation aspect of it was concerned. But after the 7-on-7 tournament concluded, there was a big announcement, and out came the dancing football players. And what were the dancing football players wearing? New uniforms.
Hooray!
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hooray! Joey, show the people what these uniforms look like.
What have they won?
All right, so here's your home jerseys.
Oh,
look at that!
Look at that! Do you see those?
Look at the stripes.
The stripes
are numbers.
The stripes are in very interesting locations.
Yeah, wow.
Where do stripes go on uniforms? It is not for me to decide.
You could point them on the screen.
They're up on the shoulders. There. The patch is gone. People are not happy about the patch being gone. And the numbers have a different font now, a different type.
That's the thing that has most struck me. Now, obviously, the stripes stand out in their own way.
And the stripes on the pants have become cut in half.
Yeah, they're like half stripes.
They're half stripes.
Which is weird.
Sort of look like racing stripes.
But it's the font. Like, I don't know why the font, like, legitimately bothers me. I look at
uniform take for Schaefer?
Well, a uniform take in the sense that, like, if I was going to put the effort in to complain about this, which some people have really put the effort in to do so.
Sounds like you're building to it.
it would just be like the font number. It doesn't seem like it fits the aesthetic of everything else. I can't explain it.
It kind of looks Wisconsin like.
Someone described it. It might have been Matt. McMaster described it as Rutgers-esque, and I couldn't unsee that.
I think the numbers look like the Rams.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see it.
Remember when the Rams did their jerseys a couple years ago, and they go to that number type right there. That's what I think the numbers look like to me. I don't know if that's what they were going for. I don't frankly know really what they were going. Actually, you know what? I imagine they were going for some sort of like a throwback look. But it feels like
two different eras.
Correct. It feels like multiple different jerseys that are just piled into one jersey. Yes. Here come the Huskers wearing their Franken jerseys.
So basically, if Joey needs another graphic, he can have, Matt Rule as Dr. Frankenstein, and then just like
I found a
Frankenstein in a football jersey.
There you go. There's your graphic.
I found a good Matt Rule pointing picture from Nebraska, and I'm using it.
Joey's already cooking.
Here's the road jerseys, by the way. If you're watching on the videos,
they did not change the helmet, which is good.
I like it. I like the road jersey better.
I can't. Yeah, I guess I do too.
If I had to, like, if for some reason you had to pick one of these two to like more than the other,
yeah,
it works better with the white. I think. The white than the red than the other way around.
But as we know,
I like the white stripes on the pants better on the red pants than I do the red stripes on the white pants.
Okay. All right. As we know, though, the best part about uniform releases is always the explanation of what is happening on the uniforms.
The over the top, like, this symbolizes this.
Mm-hmm.
These are so bad.
I'm going to read you a paragraph. The jersey features 2 stripes across the shoulders with player numbers relocated to the sleeves as a nod to traditional football uniforms that celebrate the legacy of Nebraska's football program. Embracing Nebraska's agricultural heritage, the jersey number font draws inspiration from the numbers engraved on a steel anvil and incorporates interior lines inspired by the crop rows that stretch across the state's landscape, connecting the game day uniform to the land that defines Nebraska.
What anvil?
I've never seen an anvil. I don't know what the anvil is.
No one has ever thought Nebraska football and then thought anvil and then agriculture and then combine these things together. This is like a Chat GPT soup.
I did not know that that's what numbers look like when they got engraved on an anvil. I did.
Why are we engraving on anvils?
When's the last time you've seen an anvil that wasn't on the Wile E. Coyote? You know,
probably the last time I played Skyrim.
I did not.
I was forging, as one does.
I didn't know about how the anvil worked, to be honest with you. So there's that, and then the thing that they were really trying to stress was the grooves on the numbers, which are supposed to be like crops, rows of crops, which is great. It's absolutely fantastic.
Incredible, yeah. I mean, why can't you just be like, we thought this looked the best? Couldn't you just say that?
You could have. In fact, you could have. So,
or better yet, you should have seen the others.
This is where you get to the crux of the real thing. I mean, if we want to talk about the actual uniforms, my first question that I would like to build off of is why? Why are we doing this?
Sure.
And the answer usually is wrapped up in this. And there's a quote from Haven Fields, who is the Deputy AD/Chief Operating Officer of Husker Athletics. He says this: recruiting is undeniably the lifeblood of competitive success, and young kids want to wear something sleek, modern, fast, and fashionable. These updates will give a cutting edge to the iconic Nebraska brand. We are proud of the final product and excited for the 2026 season. So he mentioned the first word in there in that quote was recruiting. And there is no doubt that the kids love a rebrand.
Sure.
There's no doubt about that. And so I'm sure they were loving the dancing football players that were out there after the event. I don't necessarily see a need to do this. I don't think the uniforms that they unveiled on Saturday night are any better. In fact, I think they're worse than the previous uniforms that Nebraska was operating with. But that's not the point. The point, I think, here is, for me, this is sort of my takeaway. They spent the entire offseason consciously, trying to be quiet, right? Rule was he even spoke about this. It's like, yeah, we're trying to just, keep it toned down and go about our business and do that entire thing. And I think they were doing a pretty nice job of it. And I don't think they had to do this at this exact moment. I think if you really wanted to generate some buzz about the uniforms or, add a fun little wrinkle into it, I think you unveil it like the week before the game, but obviously it was a big official visit weekend and there was a recruiting aspect to all this stuff. So that part I get. I made this comp. I made this comp on our podcast, but you remember during COVID when like the first couple weeks of COVID were kind of cool and fun and different. You remember, aside from all that was going on in the world, but
assuming you didn't have it or you weren't in the medical industry,
right? But it was
the rest of us were having a blast.
It was kind of like it was.
I know what you mean because it was so unique to the rest of the way you would live life.
Right? You were waking up and working from home and going on 4-mile walks every day.
Talking about what you did last night.
I mean, it was just life was just really, really different.
Yes,
and there is a uniqueness and so there's something fun about that. That's why we like the first few days of the College World Series around here, because it's different from our everyday sort of routine. And then what happened after like a couple months of doing taking the 4-mile walks and getting margaritas to go every weekend, it got pretty annoying. It wasn't fun anymore.
People wanted their Outback Steakhouses back.
Exactly. I want to go sit in a restaurant. I want to go to work. Like, I want to get back to my daily routine. It's why summer at school is only 3 months long, or, whatever it is. Like, we just get sick of it. Sure. We're going to go back to the daily routine. That is what I believed what basically happened with Matt Rule and Nebraska football. They had spent so much time yearning for attention and trying to create some buzz and some hype for the program, and then they had spent the last 6 months not doing that, and then they got sick of it and they're like, time to look at us again, time to put the attention back on us. And I think that's part of what happened yesterday. Also, they're trying to sell jerseys.
Yeah, I mean, I think the last statement is really all it is. They're just trying to sell jerseys. They're trying to move merchandise. This is why you see rebrands in sports. More often than not, it's to try to spice up your merchandise sale, give people a different look to buy. I mean, you have the people out there who will own every jersey that exists of a team. And so you're just, the cynical version of me. It's that. There's definitely an element of this where it's positioned to be about recruiting and young people and all of it. I said this to Matt McMaster on Saturday. As someone who covered recruiting for 14 years, I've never once had a recruit tell me that he chose a school because he liked the uniform.
Yeah.
Now, is that like part of the whole package, the presentation of how a team looks and all of it? Sure, it might be in there, but it's not even really about recruiting. It's just about trying to look fresh and look different. And they use the word modern. They're trying to modernize a little bit. I guess if that's what you're going for, this also strikes me. It could be like whatever year it was in the early 2000s.
2002.
You make the change to the jerseys.
And then they went right back.
They get shouted down and you go back to the traditional look that everybody likes.
Honestly, I could see that.
So,
like, if you wanted to place bets right now on if they will go back to the regular uniforms next year, I might be willing to accept some dollars on that.
The thing that always makes me laugh with college football and with teams like Nebraska is that there's this effort to chase new when what you have is iconic, and I don't understand.
I don't get it.
Why we have to just and it's not even just, okay, you want to do alternate uniforms, whatever. You want an alternate look every now and then, whatever. You want to do the blackout. Like, I'm fine. Like, I'm not standing here saying you should never deviate from the norm. But what I am saying is time will always tell that if you go back to the traditional look, its favorability rating will be higher than if you introduce something that isn't that.
Yeah, and as far as the Q rating is concerned, as you were just talking about, I mean, right now we're in a very high risk, low reward territory because of the way people feel about the program.
Sure.
They just don't
Well, that's
like
why I don't understand why they made so much build for this.
exactly.
You know, and it's not to say, and again, I understand I'm never the person that's being targeted for so-and-so has a uniform release. Like, that's not me. It's never going to be me. I acknowledge that up front. It felt like you were trying to set yourself up to be made fun of or to be harpooned or to just have this fall flat, which to me it kind of did.
They had to know. I mean, they knew that. And so there's a certain amount of me that like respects the just we're gonna blow right through that. Like, I don't really care. This is about what we're trying to, we're trying to make this cool for recruits or whatever it is. Like, I kind of respect that because they knew how it would land.
It's just a giant eye roll, basically. It's like, okay, football is kind of tired of being in the background, so they have a big announcement that nobody thinks is going to amount to much of anything.
When
lo and behold, it's jerseys that nobody was asking.
When Rule first said, or they first started teasing that there was going to be a big announcement, this is like multiple months ago, right? Or like
May.
Beginning of May,
definitely
maybe?
the beginning of May.
And when I first heard that, it sounded kind of ground shaking. Like, I thought that there was somebody sitting in the background waiting to give a $50 million gift to the football program or something. Like, I thought it was going to be this not necessarily life-altering thing, but I thought there was something big that was going on. And, it became clear that that was not going to be the case. And I'm like, oh, so they just went back to doing hype for announcements that don't really mean much.
I don't know. Maybe they got out of it what they wanted to get out of it. Maybe combining it with the Battle at the Boneyard, like this is everything that they had hoped that it was going to be. I just don't think it made anywhere near the waves or splash that you were shooting for when you started hyping up giant announcements.
No, I'm afraid not.
But what again, and this is acknowledging, not for me. It's fine.
No.
I just don't know who really it's for because it's, as I said, no recruit is going to decide on Nebraska based on, the new jerseys with the weird font.
402-951-1620. That is the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Let's head over to the hotline right now and find Sal this morning. Hi, Sal. What's up?
This is kind of along the lines of college sports monetizing everything and the fans paying for it. Have either of you happened to see what Clemson is proposing with their tailgating situation in the coming years?
No, I haven't.
We are learning.
They have taken one of their most iconic tailgating spaces and bought it up, and now you have to buy packages from the university. So it's like $20,000 per game, and they provide you with a tent and so many tables, and it says this accommodates 40 people, and then they have packages lower than that and such. And just what I was reading online from it, fans are absolutely pissed because it used to be first come, first serve, and it's right next to the stadium in a super neat place. And now, of course, they're just going to monetize that and screw the fans.
Is Ja Rule behind this by chance?
This is a fire fest.
Looking at it the way it reads, it's got a real,
It's a huge fire.
The Stacks builds on the recent launch of several new premium experiences for Clemson fans, including load seating and field level seating with access to the 1934 Club and Champions Tailgate.
I don't like this. Sal, this is a great example. Thank you for the call.
Yeah, thanks for bringing this to our attention.
Guys.
Yep.
What's with the word premium, by the way, now?
Oh, premium.
Lost. It's premium used to mean something.
Premium is what I got two words for you. Let me add another.
Okay.
So we need to start a list, Joey. This is where you keep track of things that we say. All right. So words
firing up a new doc.
Thank you. Words that are, what do we call this? Words that are overused, that have become oversaturated. Premium.
Yep.
Iconic.
Oh yeah. I use the word iconic to describe Nebraska's jerseys.
Because they actually were.
That
That is real. That is a real thing. Nebraska's not current uniforms were iconic.
Thank you.
There's a lot of things that aren't iconic, but are referred to as iconic these days. And there are a lot of things that are premium and should not be referred to as the opposite. There are a lot of things that aren't premium and get referred to as premium these days.
It's like a marketing catch-all that it's like, well, if we slap the word premium on it, people will think that they're going to get a lot more out of it than they actually will.
The enhanced premium tailgate experience for Clemson fans. This is, yeah. So, I mean, you get to the point there where you're just taking all of, I don't know. I mean, we probably do a little bit too much of this, but the things that make college sports great. But honestly, it hits close to home because we get to experience a lot of it and have experienced a lot of it at the College World Series. And there's still a lot that is sort of pure. And but that's why people didn't like, and they still talk about it to this day. They didn't like leaving Rosenblatt because it was
a lot of things that occurred there were organic and
very organic,
put upon.
And it wasn't, bought up by the NCAA or, or whatever it is. And it was very natural. And we did it for a really, really long time. And then it just became what it was. And that it's just hard to find that basically anywhere, especially in college football. I mean, in college football, we don't have any of it anymore.
Trying to even think of what's you know what was organic.
The traditions are still there, but some of them are gone.
Well, just to use this as an example, like Tarps Off when it started was organic. Now it's a put upon thing that has to happen at every sporting event, and we have to have the crowd shot of it, and the announcers will talk about it. Then we can discuss the history of it.
I can't wait till the St. Louis Cardinals monetize Tarps Off. I think they already did a
Tarps Off section where you can get all you can eat.
I actually think they did that.
And you get a shirt that you don't have to wear.
Right. We're giving away free invisible t-shirts. Now that would be a fun idea.
Promotion today is shirt towel giveaway.
Yeah, so
wear it like a shirt or throw it like a towel.
There's a lot of stuff in here that is kind of what's not so fun about college sports. We don't have to make it a bigger deal than it actually is. So there's levels to this bleep, right? As they talk about, there's levels to this. Point number one, the jerseys are not very good. I don't understand why they did that. Point number two, they're monetizing everything and college sports is dying.
Sure.
Right. And the soul of college sports is eroding before our eyes.
Can we call these
jerseys? Tired versus wired.
I want to just start referring to these as Nebraska's NIL jerseys.
That's basically
what it is.
Well, and then the other thing that I saw a lot of over the weekend, and I completely agree with, is that they took that patch off and conveniently made room for another patch to go on there, which is definitely happening at some point. Definitely happening.
Who's going to be the patch?
Probably the Bussin' with Boys logo.
There will be many sports talk segments next summer.
Why not?
After Nebraska announces prediction, Nebraska will announce next May that their uniform sponsorship is for sale.
Wow.
And then next July it will be announced that it is somebody. But there will be Buc-ee's is interesting. There will be many sports talk segments dedicated to why it's Runza. Why don't they just put the big Runza on there?
I don't think Runza is going to be on.
It's FNBO.
If we're being honest, there's a small subset of things that have the money to pay for this patch.
Yep.
You can probably guess who they are.
That's my prediction. Next May, Nebraska announces that their uniforms are for sale to a sponsor and they will do a patch. And then next July, it will be announced who's on the patch.
Great random patches, and it's like the new Epley Airport. They spring for a patch.
I think so. I think you have to.
I'd like it.
All right. 402-951-1620. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on that. Thanks for the call, Sally. Appreciate that as well. If you would like to call, you can do so on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Back with your reaction and a few more after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, 7:30, Happer and Schaefer, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Once again, welcome to Championship Monday here in Omaha for the Men's College World Series tonight between Oklahoma and North Carolina. By the way, on that, great turnout really from both fan bases. Last time Oklahoma was in the final 4 years ago, they were mogged by Ole Miss fans. Mogged, even though the difference is far shorter from Norman than it is from Oxford, Mississippi. The Oklahoma fans were mogged in 2022. Now the Oklahoma fans, and with their addition to the Southeastern Conference, have decided we have to do it now. We have to travel.
We're required.
And so now they're mogging North Carolina fans, and they are now required to travel and be obnoxious and all those different things. And we love it. Actually, they haven't been very obnoxious at all. But they have shown up this time.
What would you say the percentage is? Because on Saturday, it felt like I probably 70-30 Oklahoma to North Carolina.
I would say maybe
70-30 is probably a little strong because it's probably at least some Omaha presence rooting for North Carolina.
I thought it was probably John and I were talking about it before the game on Saturday, and I estimated 60-40 Oklahoma, and I thought it was potentially a little heavier yesterday just because Oklahoma was, on the doorstep of a national championship. But anyway, they've come.
They've been well represented the entire time. Like a lot of Oklahoma people.
Yeah, better than I expected.
Coming through the village. Let's just put it that way. So like West Virginia was one. Texas had a larger presence. They usually have a larger presence.
Always Texas.
The team that shocked me, Troy had way more people here than I was expecting.
Let's go.
And I thought that was impressive.
Troy.
How much? Some of the rest of it was a little bit, surprising. Some of the SEC teams didn't show out in the way that I would have expected.
So speaking of small schools, how much fans did Troy had compared to Oral Roberts from a couple of years back, or Murray State as well?
So Oral Roberts was a tough one because Omaha really adopted them. They didn't do that as much with Troy. I don't think this year.
There's people that were just wearing Troy stuff where you saw like Troy alum stickers in the parking lot.
I thought there was more like actual real life Troy fans than there were actual real life Oral Roberts fans.
Okay.
Well, I can't speak to that. There's just way more than I was expecting.
And actual real life Murray State fans too. Now Omaha adopted that. Like for whatever reason, Troy didn't take on the regular persona of the awesome, crazy underdog.
They weren't
and they
that either. They belonged in this field.
I agree.
By the time this thing was done,
they were fun to watch. So we'll have a fun one tonight for a winner take all national championship. Also this week, Mega Deals Week on 1620 The Zone, a different half off deal every day. Today's deal is with Twisted Thunder, a $50 voucher for just $25. Twisted Thunder Fireworks is back and bigger than ever with over 125 new products added to their explosive lineup with 3 Omaha locations, Westroads, Oakview, and Bright Ideas at 156 in Blondo, and an Iowa location as well at the Horseshoe Casino. Get the deal now, and I mean now. Mega Deals Week. Mega Deals! 1620thezone.com. Flint, Michigan Mega Bowl. All right, some of your responses to Uniform Gate. Pedro writes in. He says, "Hi guys, Connor, do you realize that your Creighton hat has stripes on it?" I do. Are they located in the correct spot? What do you guys think of this Creighton hat, by the way? I got it from Patched.
Outside of the
I love it.
Team that it represents, it's a good hat.
I need to get a Creighton hat, and I like those little retro hats that they have.
Joe, you got to get you down to the Omaha Baseball Village.
Yeah, I do.
Are you going to be too busy watching the World Cup?
I'm going to be watching the World Cup.
You should talk to Matt. He makes deals.
You should talk to Matt. He'll
Megan making money, Matt making deals.
I honestly don't trust Matt, because if I ask Matt to get me something, he'll end up giving me a Bears memorabilia.
That could be
or
true.
or give me
find it at the Village. I'll tell you that.
So the bit with the patched hats is that you could put whatever you want on them, and so it'll probably say something inflammatory about the Packers.
Yeah. I think
you could get him a welcome to Hammond hat or something like that.
Do a big letters and make it say Hammond.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or Ham Bears. That could be funny, Joey.
That would be good.
You would do that for the bit. You love bits.
I would do it.
Interesting. All right, so we'll see if we see Joey.
I do have a bit idea for later in the year.
John writes in on the text line on Nebraska's jerseys. Imagine that Nebraska does something stupid that won't help them win games. Yeah, I mean, like, there's no real, I don't think there's any real tangible downside really ever to changing your uniforms outside of people, mumbling and grumbling about it for a couple months and then wondering why we did this in the first place. But it's not like, I'm not trying to make this some referendum on the program or anything like that. I mean, there's the problems that they have are still the problems that they have. I do wonder why, and we've talked about it, a couple of those, those types of subjects on the show already today, but it's not like I view them in a different, I don't dislike them more now or anything like that.
Much like I didn't believe in the surrender whites, or anything like that. They're not going to win or lose based on the jerseys that they're wearing. Unless they're wearing black, then they never win. Brian
from Bellevue writes in, was there any mention of a new third/alternate jersey? You know what? No, I don't. Not to my knowledge. I
bet that'll come later.
Would they just do the same black uniform with the same stripes?
They could. I mean, the way rules talked in the past, like any of their alternates are available for them at any point in time. So, whether it actually works that way, I'm sure they'd have to schedule it out and talk with Adidas and everything else. But, look, they have different like I don't think they need to introduce a new alternate every year.
So there was a picture I found on social media with the jerseys on a hanger, and the third one on the right, if you're watching on the video stream, different from the home and away uniform. It's like a red and has some weird patch on the top right above the 6.
That's the retro Adidas logo with the crown.
Okay. So where'd you get this, Joey? What is this?
I found this on Twitter.
Because those are not, I mean, the two jerseys on the left that you're seeing, the home and aways there, those are not the current jerseys. So those are the old numbers with the old stripes. Maybe those are the old uniforms, and that one on the right is supposed to be that sort of looks like a AI generated type of deal. I don't know what that is, but I'm not sure what they have in the plans. Although I will say that Rule has sort of made it clear what you said, which is I don't think they really care about what uniforms or what we think they should do with their uniforms at any given moment. Like the tradition part, he doesn't seem like which is weird to me because I always felt like he would be a guy who held tradition pretty close, being a Penn State guy and all those different things. But he's really given the whole thing to the recruiting side, and he's just like, yeah, well, if the kids love it, then go with it.
He's coached like this is the only job as a head coach he's ever had with a place that has tradition. Otherwise, he's been with the Panthers, Baylor, and Temple as a head coach. So, that
really gets to an interesting. I think that gets to an interesting, point. Like, does he handle it like he's handled it? And we're talking about stuff like this, not just uniforms, but basically the idea of tradition. Does he handle it like he's handled it at other places where he's been in college, which there hasn't been any, and he's had to sort of create his own and do some cool kind of kitschy things, the OOU, all the other the single digit jerseys, all that stuff, or is it kind of beholden to the Nebraska tradition, which you sort of assume that when you sign the contract here and you come to Nebraska, is like, yeah, there's just certain things where they're kind of set in stone. Yeah. You don't really have to do anything, and you probably shouldn't do anything.
My guess is that he's allowed to color within the lines, so to speak. Like, he can do some stuff, but he can't completely, reinvent either.
I wonder if he has there was definitely a point where he had the carte blanche to kind of just do whatever he wanted. He could just,
we're wearing orange jerseys.
He could have probably said that
because we're going to the Orange Bowl.
I don't know that. I don't know if that's so much the case anymore.
No, probably not. Probably not. Oh, well, look, I mean, he wanted grass. He's not getting grass.
Right.
So, things of that nature. Now that's just more of a logistical, who are we appeasing here? A grass field doesn't allow us to use this as a multi event, stadium. So some of it is that. I don't think he has the same pull that maybe he had before, but I don't know that it's lessened by a significant margin.
No, I know.
So I do know what you're talking about. It's like a notch or two below of where it would have been earlier.
Yeah. I think he could have done if I mean, and he didn't. You remember when he got here at first, it was kind of like, hey, we're gonna go status quo on this because I understand this kind of tradition.
Yeah,
And remember
yeah,
what
yeah.
they did with the roster and all those different things. That was sort of the time to be, to kind of wipe it clean and change, not necessarily the roster, but if you wanted to do some things from a tradition standpoint,
the culture and
people are most willing.
Yeah.
And the fan base is really willing to jump on board in the early days of a coaching staff. We see that every first year coach, first off season. It's like, oh yeah, people are going to be on board with this, and they'll come up with their catchphrases, and it'll be let's rule the world, or whatever it was that
Rulers of the Big Ten.
Exactly.
All right. Bad thing to throw at you right as we're about to end a segment, but what do you think the biggest impact Rule has actually had on Nebraska football besides just like wins, loss, the season?
Like the brand?
Yeah, on the brand. Has he had one? I mean, this is kind of a hard question to answer for any coach when you think about it, but
yeah, I don't know. I mean, because it's not anything identifiable within the way they play football.
Sure. And it's not necessarily
Which
identifiable in like, has he created something?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who to give. Friday Night Lights is something that Mike Riley created and gave to Nebraska that, he didn't necessarily create it, but his staff, whatever. That stood for a while. They've shifted things into this battle with the Boneyard. So maybe that's something that they have will have some sort of lasting impact to it.
Is there anything? Okay, so this is something to think on. Is there anything that Matt Rule has created at Nebraska that is truly identifiable? Is that the
I
question?
think that's probably the way to go with.
Yeah, and that sounds sort of mean.
Yeah, and it's not. It's
that's not what we're doing
to be mean.
But help us think of something. Like Hokisker says, Mike Riley, hip hip hooray!
Yeah, hooray, hooray!
So, yeah, let us know what you think about that. If you have any thoughts, 402-951-1620. We can readdress that in the 8 o'clock hour or as we go on throughout the show today. But coming up next, we will check in with Joey for the headlines on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. Monday morning. Happer and Schaefer, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Time for some headlines with Joey. What do we have today?
Okay, just tough looking around for headlines, but these are the two I got. First headline, Australian town crier has loudest shout in the world after growing up as the quiet kid.
Wow, what a story. I'm actually very interested in that headline. Yeah, I didn't know they
we
had
still had
town criers. Yeah, that's crazy.
We sure do. Headline number 2, Michigan plumbers find ring dropped into toilet a decade earlier.
Interesting, but I'm going town crier.
I think
I
we
figured.
absolutely go with
I
the town
figured.
crier. I didn't know that we did that anymore, and so I'm excited to learn about this person. So this is from the Guinness Book of World Records. If you find yourself in Canberra, Australia, anytime soon, you might just hear Joseph McGrail Bait before you see him. That's because the native is officially the loudest man in the world. This May, he broke the record for loudest shout by an individual, male division, with a reading of 122.4 decibels. Joseph, the official town crier for Canberra and Queanbeyan, can shout as loud as a rock concert and match the noise levels of a military jet taking off. That comes in handy considering he often has to shout over the noise of sports car engines at events in his hometown. The record breaker, also known as Lord Joseph, was appointed the official town crier of Canberra in 2017. He was asked to town cry at car shows and other events, but got very serious about it when he joined the Ancient and Honorable Guild of Australian Town Criers in 2022 and started taking part in competitions. Quote, in the first year, I managed to take some places in the event, but in 2024, I took first place for the loudest cry at 98 decibels. Apparently the words that are used in the town crying competition are oye. I believe that's probably how you would say that, or oyes. I don't know why you would say it that. I don't know. I don't know if the Z is silent.
Oyes or
Oy,
oyes.
or maybe it's just
I don't know.
oy.
Yeah. I was looking
Oy,
at that. I'm not
oy.
sure. Let me look.
At the beginning of this year, I was wondering what I could do that was a little bit different. So, not being unfamiliar with Guinness World Records, I am also a former holder of archery. I looked up shouting, and here I am, 6 months later, with the world record. Quote, my daughter and I worked together to find the best word to hit the decibels. The previous word was quiet, but that wasn't quite loud enough, and we ended up settling for the word now. Joseph says he is ecstatic to be back in the record books after previously earning the title for fastest time to shoot 10 arrows into a 40-centimeter target from an 18-meter distance with 1 minute and 0.03 seconds in 2019. Wow, this guy is just sort of like a serial world record breaker, it seems. And he decided he was good at shouting loudly. And
I gotta watch
turned it into a world record.
I gotta watch the video that's on the site, on the article there, just to see.
I would
just
be
to
very
hear.
curious.
I'm very curious.
Louder than a jet engine?
There's, I think, two different types of people in this world. Those who know that the Guinness Book of World Records exists and attempt to break things, and the rest of us who only just read about it in the headline segment.
I think
And
that's
have
like
never
we
thought
do.
about a world record otherwise.
maybe a third person of if I ever break a record, that'd be cool,
They're-
but
they're-
I'm not going to consciously do it.
They're
I think
inspired.
they'd be more in the first group.
Probably.
They're inspired to be featured on the Cup of Joe headlines.
Well, there's a
on
lot of
Happer and
options for him.
Schaefer.
John
your
writes in
opportunity.
on the text line, has Joseph ever competed against McMaster in a shouting
Wow.
contest?
Oh, man, Mick Master has potential to.
He could
We-
really be in this.
Who is the loudest person you know?
Oh, man.
Your son?
No. He gets like he can be loud, but then he
Yeah.
can get really quiet when he talks.
Yeah.
Trying to think of someone who's just loud all the time.
Michael?
Severe?
Yeah.
It could be. He could be,
Depend-
in, but he's the
depending
loudest
on the
I know.
topic.
I mean, McMaster's up there.
This is not like annoying.
he's
We're not
definitely-
saying these people are annoyingly loud. They're just loud. They're
Wow.
just
They're
talk
just
loud.
naturally loud.
I think he's up there. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else in the media that really falls in that category.
I love being quiet. I'll tell you that much. I feel like if you're a loud person, you also have to have sort of like a presence about you, a larger type.
Yeah.
Personality.
Yeah.
There were some people in high school that could probably qualify in this regard.
Maybe
too.
we should send him to Canberra and make him be the town crier.
Or they could be Omaha's town crier.
We do need one, I think.
We actually do.
Does Omaha have a town crier?
I don't believe we
Let's-
have one appointed.
Let's see.
We could check. And they would go to the sinkhole and say, "Do not walk here. We have a sinkhole." And you have to say it in some sort of a 1940s man type of accent or something like that. I don't think we have a town crier, Schaefer. I don't think
There
we do.
is no official or permanent city appointed town crier in Omaha, Nebraska.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to whoever gets appointed to that.
That
You
could be
can
a-
apply at 1620thezone.com. You should probably do that. All right, welcome back. 8 o'clock here on a Monday, Championship Monday on Happer and Schaefer, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. You can stop by. I don't know what the shop situation will be before about noonish today at the Omaha Baseball Village, but Matt and Josh will be out there doing a show, and then Matt and other Josh will be out there doing another show after that show.
Matt, Josh, and then Josh, Matt.
Matt, Josh, and then Josh, Matt. And then that will take you all the way. I mean, they're going to go an
Who's
extra.
driving the show?
Yeah.
They're going to go an extra 40, right? Or an extra 35?
It was confusing to me because I've seen different start times listed for this game. So it starts at
That's a great question.
starts at 6, right?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh, no. It does. Yeah, it does
Yeah.
start at 6 Monday
So-
if necessary. So they're on 15 minutes less tonight.
Yeah. So, but I had also heard people like, "Oh no, it's definitely at 7. Why wouldn't it be at 7?"
I kind of
It's
thought it
like-
would be at 7 too.
Like, well, I'm just going off of the email, but we've also had, that's been wrong too.
Maybe it was 7 Eastern.
Yeah, could be.
Game's at 6 tonight's for the national championship.
Who will be driving the show? That will be the question.
Josh.
Josh on the afternoon. show.
I know. I was just making a joke.
That was such a great exchange that I wish was over the air. It was tremendous.
Matt was driving our show that we did yesterday, and then he was, when we were coming back from a break once, he was like not paying attention or like plugging in his computer or something like that. And so then I just took the ad reads and just drove.
You jumped in.
I think
for
I-
Fedora Law Group.
I think I drove 2 segments yesterday.
Nice.
I was very happy with that.
I offered to drive on Saturday, and he told me to just sit there and be,
Be a good boy.
yeah, basically.
This is my village.
He's like, I'm doing it.
Look at me.
Okay, all right.
Look at
Let
me.
the record show.
Look at me. I'm driving this show. I'm the captain.
Great point from Lance on the text line. Isn't Connor the type of person who does try to break world records? Remember when he ate a bunch of chicken nuggets?
You did try.
You
so
did
you're
try.
in the first group.
I guess I am consciously trying to break world records all the time.
I
I'm
have
always
never
doing
tried.
that. People are saying
That was not a strong performance from me.
it wasn't. I will say that it seemed attainable. Given my love for chicken nuggets,
I believe it.
and it
Do
turned
you
out
want a second crack at it?
I do not.
Okay.
I don't. I would like to eat a bunch of chicken nuggets in a short period of time again, but I
Where's-
do not want to do it trying to set a
Where's the
record.
time to do it since we're doing the morning show?
Yeah, I mean that's the problem here is that
Would this be-
someone is going to have to get access to the chicken nuggets before they're supposed to be.
Or this could be a topic alert week kind of a deal we could do if that's still going on. Just randomly
But
show
we-
up during the afternoon.
See what I got on the books. I know I already have some topics that are set up on my calendar.
We also need to do the big red overreaction draft at some point.
We got time on that one because we don't need to do that until August because we won't know all the game time. I mean, we won't even know all
That's
the game times
true.
when the season starts at this point.
We got to figure out where
Someone
Josh
says that
Peterson's going to be
there's-
going.
Chick-fil-A has breakfast nuggets. That could be a possibility.
Interesting.
Would
I
you
love
be
Chick-fil-A
willing to eat
nuggets,
Chick-fil-A nuggets.
and they're easier to eat. They're smaller.
They are smaller. So then we're gonna have to figure out how many more that you have to eat to be able to, or there should be a record specific for Chick-fil-A.
I would
nuggets.
imagine there is, given
Okay.
the specificity of the record that we just
We'll look
spoke
into
about.
it.
So last week I was at Burger King, and I haven't had Burger King in a while, and they changed their chicken nuggets to now crown shape,
Yeah,
which was
my
unique.
son's a fan.
Yeah, it was unique.
Cool.
I was like, whoa, what is this? And then they have the Whopper kind of partially wrapped up in a box now.
Yeah.
Which
Whoa.
They're doing
used-
their
used to be
annual
like that back in
you
the old
know,
days.
Hey, we still exist. We've made some changes.
That's what Nebraska football did with their jerseys.
Yeah, kind of.
Whoa.
Nebraska football, Burger King, more relevant in the 90s.
They should have tried to put their jerseys in
Now,
a
the
box.
one thing Nebraska hasn't done is introduce an Alaskan cod sandwich. So
Do you think they
if
should do?
Aramark or whoever is running things introduces an Alaskan cod sandwich, that will be the end of Nebraska.
McDonald's has got it down to a science. They take away the McRib for long periods of
They
time.
make you miss it.
They make you miss it, and they're like, "Here you go, the McRib's back, but only for a limited time, and it may never come back again." Wink, wink, and then it comes back.
And then they introduce things where you know it's likely to at least be a somewhat of a success, like the Big Arch.
Yeah.
And even
Yep.
if it never comes back, it was still fine for what it was.
Have we considered
Now
that
they have
that's
dirty sodas, which is like a whole
Oh.
craze throughout society.
I have heard about this.
I have not had it.
I'm not
um,
interested.
Yeah, if someone gave one to me, I would have it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to spend the extra money.
So 2 questions. Number 1, if Burger King decided to take away their long chicken sandwich for a long period of time, would people clamor for it back and therefore sell more long chicken sandwiches when it comes back?
Some people regard the Burger King chicken sandwich as the OG fast food chicken sandwich. Like that
It's
thing.
I got
definitely
coupons
like
for those. I should try them.
it's I don't know what it is about it. It's just, my experience eating it as a child, like it does feel nostalgic to me.
Sure.
The long chicken sandwich. I can remember sitting there.
I've not had it in probably 15 years.
I have a very vivid memory. You're gonna laugh hard at this. I went to they had the Burger King at Nebraska Furniture Mart.
Yep.
And I remember eating a long chicken sandwich and the Super Bowl with the Rams and the Patriots was on.
Okay, wow.
And Vinatieri was making that kick.
Why were you at the
I
Nebraska
don't know.
Furniture
I-
Mart
I-
watching the
Because
Super Bowl?
I feel like it was during the day, or maybe it was a replay of the next
you
day.
had to have watched a replay.
Okay, so the Super Bowl was definitely at night, right?
Yeah, I don't even think the way their hours work that they would have even been open.
But
On Sundays, they
Unless the
close
Super Bowl
early.
was in the day.
Well, the Super Bowl's at night.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it couldn't have been live. But I remember looking up at the TV. I was like, "Wow, Adam Vinatieri. He's pretty good. He's making all these game-winning kicks. This is 2001.
Yeah, how about the sandwich?
This is 2001,
Yeah, sure.
right?" And I was like, "Man, I got to go back to eating my long chicken sandwich now." That's what I associate with long chicken sandwich.
Incredible.
Yeah, Nebraska Furniture
Adam
Mart,
Vinatieri.
Adam Vinatieri.
Have him
South
on-
Dakota State's Adam Vinatieri.
Have him on the show, and Connor could tell him that.
Nebraska Furniture Mart and long chicken sandwiches. They all go together.
They do. It's all the same,
Never
much like
would've guessed.
Twister in Jurassic Park, and how 29 is 30.
The following statements I do not agree with, nor do I endorse.
Nick from St. Louis writes in, I just had 2 long chicken sandwiches from Burger King recently. They had a buy one, get one on the
Yeah,
app. I
they've been
didn't
doing
even finish half the first one. It was terrible. Go ahead, Joe.
They're terrible.
They're terrible.
Oh no, the meme, they're handshaking again.
So my second question was, could this be what Nebraska is doing to us with their uniforms? They take them away for a year. They create demand for the good
Oh.
uniforms. They have bad uniforms for a year, much like they did in 2002, and then make it double exciting when they bring back the old good uniforms for 2027. And Nebraska might be better in 27 than they are in 26.
Wow, like they're doing hey, you didn't appreciate these enough.
They're McRibbing our
We're gonna
uniforms.
make you appreciate it.
Yes.
And then you'll appreciate it, and we'll take them away again for some other reason, just to make sure that you never get comfortable.
Is it possible?
It is possible. It's certainly possible. Doesn't seem like a great idea, but it's possible.
They could be McRibbing our
A
uniforms.
1-year rebrand of uniforms only to go back to what you already had.
I mean, they did it in
That's-
2002.
Man, when you say it out loud like that, doesn't that just scream Nebraska?
Just way overthinking it. Yeah.
Like, hey, we're gonna do this, and it's gonna be good for nope, we're going right back to what we had done.
Uh-huh. I mean, now when they introduced the new uniforms in 2002, that was not the idea that they were going to bring them back
Sure.
in 2003, but the displeasure for them was overwhelming.
Those were bad.
I remember at the time, so 2002, I remember that another thing that I remember vividly, that Penn State game. And I was like, we have to get out of these jerseys right now. I didn't mind the home ones for some reason, but the away ones where they only had the one set of pants. So they ended up being all white uniforms anytime they were on the road. That Penn State game was such a disaster that year. I'm like, oh no, this is not. And that was like one of the first times in my life outside of the Colorado game the previous year that I experienced Nebraska looking so putrid on a national stage. Yeah, those are
Look at these.
those are that's not great. Look, Google a picture from the Penn State game in 2002. Because that is the game I associate with like, this is not a very good look.
Yeah, I mean they just got ran over that day.
Not good.
40-7, is that right?
I believe it was 40-7. I feel like the 7
it was 40 to
I
7.
feel like the 7 was late, wasn't it?
Let me take a look at the box score.
Yeah, that sounds right. That same year, I would watch them lose at Jack Trice against Iowa State, in which one of their touchdowns was like a 90-yard Ross Pilkington slant. He
Incredible.
just outran people.
Incredible.
Otherwise, Seneca Wallace just had him that day.
No, the 7 was in the second quarter. It was scoreless after 1, so it was competitive.
Whoa.
13-7 halftime, and then Penn State scored 20 in the third quarter.
Yeah.
That was the first time I had really experienced Nebraska getting absolutely blasted outside of the Colorado game in 01.
Yes. Yeah.
Because basically everything before 2000 is nonsense to me. I don't, or it's the Fugazi. I don't really.
I mean,
remember
there wasn't like a lot before then. I mean, in terms of getting beat like that.
That is the game. Those 2 games.
Colorado game stands out for that reason because it seemed unfathomable that a team could put that number on Nebraska.
Correct. The first time's hard. The second time is when you know it's real. It's like, this is happening. And then they brought the jerseys back in 2003.
Sure.
And they won 9 games.
They won 9 games.
And Frank got fired.
Was it the jerseys? Was it Bo Pelini? Was it Barney Cotton?
It could have been a variety of different things.
It could have been.
Well, we'll see if they are McRibbing the uniforms for Nebraska, to be determined in that category. Here was the other piece of drama that happened over the weekend. And I got to be honest with you guys. I don't get this. I don't really know. Was there anybody that was fired up about this? I caught it out of the corner of my eye. And Matt told me about this story about how the Kenny Minchie was talking over the weekend.
Oh, okay.
Do we remember Kenny Minchie?
Yeah, briefly affiliated with Nebraska football and then chose Kentucky.
Indeed. So he has this story in with Pete Nakos from On 3, and it is basically talking about how excited he is to play at Kentucky. I'll read you the first part. Kenny Minchie patiently waited 3 seasons at Notre Dame. He pushed C.J. Carr for the starting job in camp last August, but when Marcus Freeman named Carr the starter, it was clear that Minchie was going to have to look elsewhere for a shot at being a starting quarterback in college football. Quote, "It wasn't just that I wasn't playing there. So that was, it was just that I wasn't playing there. So that was really the main reason, which I appreciate him for. When Minchie entered the transfer portal, Nebraska quickly emerged as the team to beat. Before even taking a visit to see Matt Rule and the Cornhuskers, he committed on January 4th. That lasted roughly 24 hours. Minchie flipped his commitment to Kentucky, new head coach Will Stein. With the Wildcats missing out on Arizona State transfer Sam Leavitt, Stein and offensive coordinator Joe Sloan went all in on bringing Minchie to Lexington. Quote, "These are basically the best 2 guys at their positions across the country, and with what they've been able to do in terms of quarterback development, it ended up being a no-brainer." And then just looking at Kentucky in the past, obviously it hasn't gone exactly how they wanted over the last few seasons, but even last year they lost to Ole Miss by 7 and should have beaten Texas, losing by 3. So he's already following the company line on in that regard. I don't know exactly what people were taking offense with this. But
yeah, I kept waiting for you to say something.
I know. I read that,
and Minchie said this about Nebraska.
So I read the story like 3 times last night, and I'm like, okay, so what's the deal here? Is it just that people were offended that there are better quarterback developers in the country, and that's why he didn't want to go to Nebraska? Like,
I don't know. I don't know what there is to be offended here. I ultimately have come out of this since it's all happened being like, I think Nebraska ended up okay. There's a world where this is maybe better for them, that they ended up with Colandrea over Kenny Minchie.
Yeah,
I feel like the offseason would be even weirder if your quarterback was a guy who didn't really start a year ago. And so you almost have no idea what it is that he's going to do at all.
There is no established floor or ceiling on Kenny Minchie. Although I do think in general, based on their style of play and just what I've seen from him, Minchie seems like in some ways a safer bet to be good, but in some ways that could limit your people. The one thing that people like about the offseason is the potential for something whatever to happen. We talked about that a little bit on Friday, right? The potential that a great season could be waiting in the
Sure.
wings somewhere. Like having Kenny Minchie as your quarterback this upcoming year would give you almost no chance at that. I mean, very, very, they already have very little chance at that. Having Kenny Minchie as your quarterback would take that completely away.
Well, you basically have to like tell yourself this guy that has never meaningfully started games is going to have this like unbelievable,
Right.
Performance.
And Calandria, admittedly, I mean, he would have to be he would have to be
yeah,
really,
you need
really
to
good
see that he's
all
used
season
that
long.
time.
But I
Right.
just don't know that the ceiling with him, Calandria, running Nebraska's offense and kind of being the main focal point of it is a lot more higher potential ceiling of a picture to me than it would be with Minchie. Like,
It's interesting because people that I respect their opinions on evaluations or certainly know more about these players than I would. We're pretty high on like Minchie just in general. Like he was rated well despite the fact that he hadn't played much. The belief out of Notre Dame was that he had kind of maybe won the competition in the fall or had practiced better in the fall, but the decision was kind of already made that it was going to be Carr anyways. So there's definite, I think, upside there. For me, a lot of it is if a guy's never gone through it as a starter, there's certain things that you kind of have to get past too. Yep. And you won't have that with Calandria, who is already transferred to a place, had to get assimilated, had success there. So I think that's another like piece of all of this too. Like I just think you're not dealing with as many potholes that could happen with Calandria. What you're dealing with is he might just not be good.
Right.
Which, and it's true of Minchie too. But on top of that, he still has to learn how to be a starter at this level. Calandria has started a ton of games. Like I prefer that when you're in a year like they have coming up in 26. Whereas if you were telling me the entire build was for Minchie to get his feet wet in 26, be, great in 27.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I can kind of accept that. Yeah. But now with 5 for 5, you might have Calandria for 27 anyway.
Well, I mean,
plus, there's that kid that everybody can't stop talking about that's going to be a freshman quarterback. And you might just have to play him because we know that's going to go well.
Did you see him get taken to school by Matt Rule on the basketball court?
No, I didn't see Matt Rule take Trey Taylor to school.
He did. He hit him with the Dirk fade.
I heard Trey Taylor had some interesting interactions throughout the battle at the Boneyard.
Yes, he was talking about Iowa.
Yep, there was that. There was some light trash talk that maybe didn't land how he wanted.
Interesting.
Some other things that occurred throughout the event, but
yeah, we can talk about that a little bit later.
It's great to not have to cover it and to just hear things through other people that did.
Isn't it beautiful?
It is nice.
It's great. Wow, watch this video. Oh, cool. Okay, talk to you later.
Pretty much. Yeah.
But we'll talk to Tim Verghese in a couple minutes.
He's one of the people that knows.
He very much does cover these things. So I do wonder, this is a question that we cannot have the answer to.
Ooh.
And
love the phrase.
And will not have the answer to until potentially after this year. Would you rather have second year Calandria or second year Minchie?
Yeah, we'll find out.
Like, I think they, like you said, they would have rather had second year Minchie.
I think the perception from them is that the upside is higher there.
Right.
Like legitimate could be.
And that's what I thought they were doing. They were doing the Minchie thing because in his second year, he was going to be really good and get him in there in 26 and we'll see what happens. But 27, it's go time. That's kind of the sense I got that they were doing. It made sense to me that they went that way. Right. And I was fine with it. And now you have this 5 for 5 thing where Calandria could be getting a second year anyway. It's changed. It feels like it's changed a lot of things about how I don't know about the trajectory of the program, but just sort of how they act and how they're kind of approaching this year and stuff like this when your quarterback matters in that conversation. So I don't know what, if you could give them truth serum, and which they would want.
Well, they obviously preferred Minchie, like they chose him first. And so I think you start there. But then I think it matters that as they cycled through their options, of which they had quite a few to pick from. Now, were you picking from the $5 movie bin at Walmart where none of the movies are particularly good and you're hoping to stumble into a comedy that you liked and seem like it's worth $5? And that's ultimately what you got with Calandria, yeah, I mean,
Sometimes you get a real winner.
that's quite possible. But sometimes you reach in there and you pull out the movie Out Cold, and you're like, man, this is a great $5 find.
Absolute gem.
Maybe that's what Calandria could be.
Maybe.
I don't. I will be really interested in how Minchie plays, but it's going to be because he was committed for such a short amount of time, and then there was no attachment to this at all.
None.
It's not going to be like one of these things where I feel we're going to do a big what if about it.
I don't think so, unless he's really, really good, which I don't necessarily see in his first
Be
year.
kind of surprised, and I'd be surprised if Kentucky is worth talking about in the
Right.
middle of October. If we're honest.
People did watch like what Dante Dowdell did last year for a couple of weeks, right?
Well, he had like a 70-yard run in the first game.
Well, he was
or
like the
something.
leading rusher for 2 weeks of the season. We were like, what happened? And then it turned out Nebraska had one of the best 3 running backs in the country.
And then it was like, well, you don't have Dowdell. They're just going to continue to give it to this Emmett guy, and maybe that's the best thing.
Who's this Emmett guy? Who's
Now,
this huge guy?
When you
Who's
get
that
into
huge
the they need a huge guy for their goal line situation.
Give me a
Who's gonna
huge
be
guy.
the huge guy?
Mike writes in on YouTube. He says, I think the floor with Minchie is lower than with Calandria. I don't know. I think the idea is that Minchie's floor is pretty high.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I would agree with that.
I again, going off of the people when I was talking to him in January, it was like Nebraska might have stumbled into something really interesting here with this guy.
Yeah, I was excited about it.
Yeah. But
in a weird
when
way.
they ended up with Calandria, I didn't feel like it was this massive drop off for me.
No,
It was more so just like, okay, there's a
like,
lot more known quantity here.
And I was kind of weirded out because it's like, oh, they're going this direction. That's weird. I don't really know what that's going to turn into. I knew exactly what the other one was going to turn into. I knew exactly what they were trying to do with him. I don't know what this is.
Well, there was a part of me that when they didn't end up with Minchie, I was prepared for like Bo Pribula to be Nebraska's quarterback and for
Just
me to
run them all over the place.
For me to basically sit there and listen to them explain how and why this was going to work well for what they wanted.
He was actually better than Drew Aller at Penn State 2 years ago, and he was really good at Missouri. Let's take a break. Tim Verghese is
we've gotten to Bo Pribula. It's time to take a break.
It's definitely time. Or DJ Lagway.
Oh no.
Tim,
that was an automatic no.
Tim Verghese is our next guest. There is much to catch up on in the recruiting world. We'll do that on the other side on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. Just a little shy of 8:30 here on Happer and Schaefer, 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Mike Schaefer, and we're joined now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone Hotline by our good friend Tim Verghese from inside Nebraska. Tim, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How we doing, guys?
Good. Busy weekend, another one from a recruiting standpoint. The Battle of the Boneyard this weekend. A ton of takeaways, a commitment. I imagine there could be some more things that trickle out early this week and into the week as we go along here. So I'll tee it up for you, Tim. Biggest takeaway, biggest thing that you learned from being around this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I think biggest thing from the weekend, between Boneyard and I would say the OV weekend. I mean, look, we've got a recruiting class here in this 27 group that, we knew, I think the top end and a lot of the OG guys were very close. Trey Taylor, Amir Brown, Tay Ellis, Matt Erickson, those guys, the guys that, we would consider the foundational pieces of the 27 cycle were very close. But we were there Saturday at the Boneyard, and you see, Timmy Aliu and Jordan Agbanoma. Those guys made official visits a couple weeks ago. They're back on campus, just hanging around. Joey Hunter, the 3-star tight end from Loganville Grayson, with them. Eli Harris, the 3-star tight end from Loganville, or 3-star linebacker from Loganville Grayson, also with them. Nehemiah Umbadi and 3-star defensive line commit Errol DeMontagnac. Both of those guys back on campus for unofficial visits. Nebraska had 6 commits on campus this weekend for official visits. 10 plus other commits were back in town this weekend, making unofficial visits, developing that chemistry, connecting with the coaching staff. And coming out of the weekend, I asked a few people. We had obviously those guys that were in town this weekend, and you never really know obviously what the season could hold, what anything holds, but coming out of the weekend, just asking around Nebraska, there's confidence that I would say the 16, 17 plus commits that were in town this weekend, they're good. That was the way it was put to me. They're shut down, they're committed, and so Nebraska has a nice little nucleus here. And again, you talk about culture within the program. Nebraska's done a good job there of establishing that, but you have a group of commits here that are developing relationships, that have very quickly formed these relationships, and are now peer recruiting others to join them. I think it was very beneficial for Khalil Taylor to have all of those guys on campus peer recruiting him. He was pretty much the focus of the weekend. And you look ahead to the 28 cycle. We've already got a few stories up on some guys that were in town in terms of targets, as well as some 28s and 29s that got new offers. And a lot of them spoke about, just being in town over the weekend. Trey Taylor made sure to find them, or one of the commits made sure to find them. One of the guys on campus made sure to find them and let them know they were wanted in Lincoln. And so you have this thing where the best recruiting tool isn't, what coaches can say or resources or any of that. The best recruiting tool is guys or guys you look up to, or whatever that looks like, peer recruiting you. And Nebraska kind of has that right now.
So I am interested. Brennan Drummond is the latest commitment in Nebraska's class. He joins an already pretty deep secondary group. Was there just something here they saw on Drummond where it's like they had to have him? Is it a contingency clause in case you lose somebody like Torrey Pittman? Or what do you think the Drummond commitment's about? Because it feels like someone that, they had a really good group already assembled. It's maybe a position where they didn't have to go out and get him, but they must like him a lot to be able to take him.
Yeah, so long-term would not look at him as a DB, would look at him more as like a big nickel or a linebacker. And that's at least the developmental plan Nebraska has for him. We visited last weekend for the first time. There's some longer-standing family ties here. His father is pretty high up the chain in the Atlanta Falcons organization. Previously, he was pretty high up in the Carolina Panthers organization when Matt Rule was the head coach there. So there's a long-standing family relationship there. And Drummond, he's a 3-year varsity starter. Played the first 2 years of his high school at Charlotte Providence Day, a power program down in Charlotte. And then he played his junior season in Georgia, and now going back to Charlotte Providence Day for his senior season, expected to finish out his career or his high school career in Charlotte. And you watch the tape, yeah, he's a violent tackler, a pretty sound football player, I would say overall. Again, when you compare his film at safety and just working at the third level of defense compared to some of the other DBs. Clearly not the same athlete as some of the other DBs Nebraska has committed. I don't think as smooth a mover, as functional a mover, but again, can run the alley with authority. I think he's a violent tackler, sure tackler, good run defender. But long term, more of I think a stash and develop big nickel / linebacker guy that, and especially in this cycle, if you can find sound football players for relatively cheap, where, in this instance, what relatively cheap is, kind of the scholarship and very limited, if any, additional NIL, you take those guys, you take the sound football players if you can get them for I would say relatively cheap.
Are the kids excited about the new uniforms? What did they think?
Yeah, that's been an interesting thing. Obviously my first reaction, was a little up and down, in terms of how I feel about them, and obviously the fan base has reacted away. But I mean, the recruits really like him, the commits really liked him. Getting to try him on, the commits that were on OVs this weekend got to try him on. We've already seen a few pictures of Trey Taylor and Matt Erickson in them, Khalil Taylor as well, but a target, of course. But they got to try him on, and then talking to some of the guys that camped and worked out on Saturday and got to see him, they really like him. I had a few guys say they like them better than the old uniforms, and so for me, again, the fan base, again, I understand. I would say they did. I understand. I think I figured a uniform refresh, a uniform rebrand would draw some ire. But ultimately, I think the people wearing them really like them, and so for what that's worth, I don't know what that means to the fan base, but for what it's worth, the people wearing them and the people Nebraska's recruiting to wear them, they really like them.
Yep.
So, Tim, what does the board sort of look like for Nebraska? You mentioned Khalil Taylor a couple times. I know there's those offensive linemen that were out there from previous weeks as well. What's kind of left for Nebraska here? With Bam Whitfield as a decision in July, like who are sort of the names to know as we put a bow, I guess, if you would, on summer recruiting for 2027?
Yeah, I think there's just about, I would say, 4 names really out there. I would say priority targets left for Nebraska. There's a few others they are working on, but I think those are going to be fall type moves, like the potentially filtering anyway. But the 4 I would say to keep an eye on moving forward, we've got 4-star offensive lineman Kyler Kuhn, who announced this morning he's going to make a decision later today. He's trending to Mizzou. We have a couple of rivals predictions in favor of Mizzou. Figured this was going to coming out of his Nebraska OV. Figured this was going to come down to Missouri and Nebraska, somewhat of a head-to-head. Iowa also involved, but figured that one was going to come down to Missouri and Nebraska. That one appears to be trending Missouri. We'll see how that one finishes out here later today. And you also have on the offensive side of the ball, Khalil Taylor, like we talked about, set to announce his decision on July 6th. It's been a date he's long been set. It's between Nebraska and Penn State for him. Penn State, the in-state school he's visited more than anybody else. We're talking about 15-plus visits across his recruitment to Penn State. And so it's a head-to-head battle there. Nebraska has some increased confidence coming out of the weekend in their chances, but this is going to be a back-and-forth type deal until July 6th between these two programs. Bam Whitfield, the 3-star defensive back out of First Academy down in Orlando, also scheduled to announce his commitment on July 6th. That's a date that's very close to him. He lost a family member on that date, and in honor of her, is going to announce his commitment on July 6th. That one, it's coming down to Nebraska and Florida there. You have Oregon involved to a certain extent, but this is really a Nebraska-Florida head-to-head battle. And look, Nebraska, Florida's long been the one that's been trending for a lot of this offseason. Nebraska worked hard to close the gap after getting him on campus back in March. He was on campus for his OV June 12th through the 14th, was hosted by Danny Odom, his former teammate at First Academy. Nebraska made a very strong case for themselves. And like with Khalil Taylor, there's some increased confidence here. But like with Khalil Taylor, again, there's going to be some back and forth between the two schools involved here until July 6th. With both of these, it's kind of just a Nebraska feels good about the fact that they got the last visit from both of those guys. And I think there's some increased confidence in the fact that they got the last visit from both of those guys. But they know neither of those recruitments are over. There's still some work to be done. And the 4th target that's still out there, we're still really waiting on, is Barrett Cottrell, the in-state legacy offensive lineman. That's a head-to-head battle between Nebraska and Iowa. We should have a decision from him here in the coming days, coming out of his Nebraska OV, his last OV last weekend. he wanted to have a decision made in the coming days. So it should be just a matter of time with him. And that's really it. I mean, once we get past, like I said, I think obviously Ahmad Hudson still out there for Nebraska, but that's going to be one that, probably going to be into the fall if Nebraska is going to pull that off.
Albert Simeon, do you think that's passed for Nebraska at this point?
Simeon, what I'll be interested to see is, if Kuhn ends up at Missouri today as expected, and so if Cottrell ends up at Iowa or something, I do wonder how Nebraska approaches Simeon and reapproaches that recruitment, because that one has been one where, look, I mean, I posted an update last week. He went to Notre Dame this past weekend, but I think the story in that recruitment's not the Notre Dame OV. LSU's kind of quietly, they've hung around for a really long time, but have always had some ground to make up on Texas A&M in that recruitment in particular. They've really made a surge as of late, and so Nebraska's in that recruitment with Texas A&M, LSU, and Notre Dame. It's just tough. It's really hard for me to see Nebraska coming out on top there.
Definitely.
They're not giving up necessarily. They're still in that thing, but it's hard for me to see Nebraska coming out on top there.
Tim, I got one more for you before we get you out of here. Given what we have now, we had the 7-on-7 circuit obviously finish off at the Battle of the Boneyard this weekend, but before that there were some local guys. How much of a lightning rod is Trey Taylor going to be locally this year? Not only from an interest perspective, but I saw a little trash talk, a little this and that. There's a lot going on there. Can we even really estimate how big of a, how much will be coming out of Trey Taylor's football games this fall at Millard South?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm expecting, obviously, people are going to be showing up to come see him. He's one of the top quarterbacks in the country. If not, after rankings update, might be the consensus number one quarterback in the country after his Elite 11 finals performance, and just a strong offseason he's had. So yeah, there'll definitely be people, and he's also got a target on his back.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, we saw it at the 7-on-7 tournament. Just being around there for 2 days and seeing, this is the first time for some of these kids in the area seeing Trey, competing against Trey, all of that. And so, there was a, whenever he took the field there, you would see like hush whispers, things like that. But obviously there are teams too that have had this target on him since he announced he was moving to Nebraska for his senior season. Westside in particular has this target on Millard South and Trey Taylor. And look, I'll say this much. Millard South got them in 7-on-7. They won head to head in 7-on-7 to win the Neb Preps 7-on-7 state championship. It might be a different story in the fall because as good as Trey Taylor and Tay Ellis are, I think as a team, if you look at the overall depth of the team, I think Westside's a little deeper this year, especially in the trenches. That's going to be interesting. I think that matchup in particular is going to be very interesting for me. Millard North, Millard South going to be feisty as well.
Yeah.
I'm fully expecting. I've got that one circled in the calendar already to open the season here in Nebraska. But yeah, I'm excited for what this is going to be, what the senior season is going to be. And look, Trey Taylor's all for it. Again, he's not backing down from the competition. He's not backing down from any of this. Again, he was fully trash talking back too. So he's all for this. He's excited to prove himself. He knows he's got a target on his back, and he knows what he needs to do as a senior. So he's fully about this. He's fully ready for this. I think it's going to be fun to see how the dynamic works of you have these high school kids, you have these high school fans as well. They're going to be rooting against Trey for about a year before they root for him at Nebraska.
All right, Tim. Well, we appreciate you. Great stuff as always. And we'll talk to you soon.
Yep. Appreciate you guys. Talk soon.
Tim Verghese, Inside Nebraska. Check out all his coverage from over the weekend. There is a lot of it, even down to some current players on the roster, some notes. As you mentioned in the story, I'll let you read it for yourself. But if you're around people for long enough, you just pick up things.
You learn things.
That's why people go to things. Isn't that, that's why people who are seeking information go to things, I suppose. We'll take a break. We'll round out the hour. We still have plenty to come. Michael Bruntz will join the show. We could talk some soccer. We could talk some football. There's even an NFL topic today on the sheet. Oh, We love the NFL.
I love the
I love the
NFL.
NFL too.
Sometimes you.
I
love
like
Let's
the NFL.
talk more NFL and not potential NBA trades. That's going to impact my well-being.
We weren't ever going to do that.
I don't know. I thought about making Giannis my man of the weekend,
Oh no.
but nothing had happened yet.
Back after this on 1620 The Zone. Well, how often do I go on this soapbox and on this rant? Whenever an undesired outcome happens, it feels like we change things instantly. Well, it happened again. This time it has struck the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament. Next, starting this season, the top 2 seeds in Missouri Valley Conference Tournament, aka Arch Madness,
So they're going through with this.
will receive automatic buys straight to the semifinals.
Yes.
Oh no.
Straight to the semifinals. So Belmont, congratulations. You losing in the quarterfinals last year to Drake ruined Arch Madness forever. Nice job, Belmont. Led by Sam Arm. Arm.
So
It's not Giancarlo's fault.
we had gone through this probably about a month
Yeah,
ago,
yeah.
and
They're doing
they fully adopted
According
it
to Rothstein, yes.
now. Okay. He's woken up. He's done sleeping.
By the way,
He's
where's
tuned.
the Peronis? What's going on with his trip?
There's
here?
been no update on the Peroni. Maybe he's going to show up at the beginning of the season. Maybe they're going to have Peroni night at Pinnacle Bank Arena.
I mean, I think you got to make it like an August thing, right?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do.
Do it in the dead of, I mean, this is basically the dead of the college basketball winter right
Should
now.
we demand that he comes on our show and reveals his plans?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know how to, I'm sure someone has his phone
We'll
number.
look
I
into
don't-
booking him.
Yeah.
I don't know how it'll happen.
I think he only texts coaches.
Yeah.
So one of our numbers would pop up and it would say, this isn't a college basketball coach. And he would say, get this crap out of here.
Just ask
Disgusting.
Coach Mac to borrow his phone, then just call him from or text him from that number.
Okay.
Hey, Coach Mac wants me on a radio
Should
show.
really be
Nope,
here
it's
talking
Connor
to
Happer.
That is a great idea, actually. Ghost phone.
He should be hawking T-shirts in the Omaha Baseball Village.
He should be. He should be.
Yeah.
He
Have
should
his
be.
own little basketball tent.
He should be buying everybody Peronis
Yeah.
by now. I mean, this
Agreed.
is disgusting that people have had to wait this long. I'm sorry. Now the documentary / the movie was just released, so at least you have
He
something
could
to
have been
hold
a
you
good
over.
surprise guest for that.
That would have been actually great.
You bring him out, and he's just buying Peronis throughout Lincoln.
That would have been pretty.
He could
great.
be a great guest for Jack Mitchell's showing on his driveway.
Yeah,
Just randomly show up there and
would
then
be fun.
pack up the driveway.
be pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of good options.
He's got 'em.
We talked about this late last week as well, but speaking of the NCAA tournament, Creighton and Mecca submitted a bid to host the new opening round in the expanded NCAA men's basketball tournament. Hooray!
Hooray!
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Schaefer. I'm not in on this. Of course, Omaha is already hosting the first weekend this upcoming year. Marcus Blossom, Creighton's athletic director, said he does not know if Omaha could move its dates or if it would have to give up those games to another city if indeed it is selected as the first 4 site, which, I mean, I got to be honest with you, there's no way they could do both. I don't think you would want to do that
Right.
if you were the tournament. I don't think that you would do that.
Which could work in the favor of people like you and I, which prevents Omaha from being chosen as the city.
See, I don't think so though, because this feels like a forever home for the first 4 thing.
Right.
So
but maybe they can avoid being chosen and it's someone else's forever home in Albuquerque.
Here's the thing though. Omaha, of the potential cities that are going to get involved here, Omaha is like almost for sure the most desirable. Like outside of Vegas. So
Which I don't know if you can do. Vegas.
maybe we could go all in on just say send everybody to Vegas. It's players era, round 2, round 3. It's the pre-crown tournament, and we send them all there, and then the losers actually do play in the crown.
That's amazing.
Here's an idea.
It's a double elimination tournament, but if you lose, you're in the crown. You're in a new tournament.
Here's an
Double
idea
crown.
for City of the Day. Let's add a twist to as for why send the first 8 to that city. We could do that.
It's a possibility. It's a possibility.
Not Omaha.
I'm like dumbfounded that it's a city that with the capability and has been a consistent host of the tournament games that people know and love
Yeah, I'm surprised.
is like gung-ho on getting this becoming Dayton West, basically.
Yeah, I'm sort of surprised that they're really, really going for it. Keep in mind there's a new Mecca guy There's a new
New Mecha Man?
new Mecha boss, and it's not
Mr. Mecha.
new Mr. Mecha.
Yeah, there we go.
And then Creighton obviously has a lot to do with the process
Sure.
of selecting and going for things like this as well. And they seemingly have made the decision to go for it.
The
And
motive here is that it'd be consistent in that you would have it every year, so you could have bankable, finances coming in.
Yeah, and there's
or
no
bankable revenue.
and there's no doubt that Omaha would host it well and it would become a thing and all those different things. But I just prefer the real tournament. I prefer the first and the second round.
The 1 seeds, 2 seeds, 3 seeds.
Even if you just dangle me the carrot of a slight there's
you
maybe
could have a region.
there's maybe a
someday.
chance in 100 years that you get another Sweet 16 Elite 8 round. I'm like, done, sold, sign me up.
More
I'm all the way
Kansas
in.
Duke.
Instead, you're getting 17 and 16 Auburn coming to play.
Barf.
23 and 9.
Hooray!
Richmond feels
Yeah,
like an
right.
always 10 or
Richmond's not
11
getting
seed.
in. They're in the wrong conference for that.
All right, we'll take a break. 9 o'clock hour coming up after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, 9 o'clock here on Happer and Schaefer, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. The Zone road trip could be yours if you just enter online at 1620thezone.com, or you could drop by the Omaha Baseball Village and scan that QR code as well. Matt will be out there today for 8 consecutive hours of radio, which is what I'm excited about. He'll be joined by 2 different Joshes.
Wow.
Throughout that period of time, which the Zone
Matt,
road
Josh, Matt.
Josh, Matt, Josh. The Zone road trip includes 4 tickets to Royals Tigers on August 23rd, 4 passes to Adventureland, $150 to Early Bird, 10 Wallies for a year, and a $100 Hy-Vee gift card. Like I said, enter online 1620thezone.com or scan that QR code at the Village later on this afternoon. Today, I can confirm, is your last chance at least to scan the QR code at the Village. So if you're dropping by, please do that. I saw a lot of people coming by yesterday, and they asked us, sir, how do I get this 10 Wallies for a year? And I said, I have something for you. And then I gave them the QR code, and they scanned it. They scanned the crap out of it. Also, they were coming by for a lot of granola bars as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people saying boomer sooner.
If you win, this is the one that also has the Early Bird with it.
It
too,
does.
right? Yeah. I was just there. You can get yourself some breakfast egg rolls from Early Bird. Highly recommend.
That sounds
Very
like it's
good.
right up
It's like
my
a new
alley.
dish.
Yeah, because sometimes they even get the the roller grill, the tornadoes. They make the breakfast ones sometimes.
I didn't know that.
Those are good.
Like the QT.
Yeah, I would imagine that these are a lot better.
There's a lot of flavor. And then one of
I'm
the
into it.
dipping options they give you is actually just syrup. So if you really wanted it, but that's too powerful. So I didn't go
That seems like a
route
lot of stuff going on.
because I wanted all the other flavor that was in there.
Something about syrup just feels like I have to restart my day over afterward. Like syrup just is like, I don't know what it is. It's so. I mean, it's literally what it is. It's syrupy,
Oh,
it's so sticky.
Some of it for me right now, having a kid, whenever he has it, he's just covered in it. And it's
I
just
know
like-
it's gross.
I don't like that. I don't like when my hands are dirty. I hate when my kids' hands are dirty. He fights me when I'm trying to get him to wash them. It's just it's a whole ordeal.
I do like it in general as a dipping sauce, though.
Oh
Like,
yeah, no,
not
it's great.
not for like chicken strips or anything like that, but like for waffles, you can dip it in there.
Sure.
Dip it.
I mean, I use honey when we were talking nuggets. Like, I
Ooh.
would get the honey from McDonald's to dip my nuggets. It's
Absolutely.
incredible.
Congratulations, by the way, we got a couple things we want to cover here before we get to brunts. Congratulations to Dylan Raiola. What's that, Dylan Raiola? He has made a list. Go ahead, Joey.
Who's that huge guy?
This is Dylan Raiola. I'm reading a CBS Sports list from over the weekend.
Oh no.
College football's
We have too many lists.
10 best backup
Oh.
quarterbacks. That's right.
Look,
Dylan Raiola at Oregon, right
who
there.
is ranking this? Is it Brad Crawford?
No, it's Cody Nagel, who is
Yeah, I know
who is
Cody
a
Nagel.
friend, a local.
We like Cody.
We like Cody.
We don't have a problem with Brad.
He has a list.
Okay.
Cody
We
has
got
a list.
lot of lists. We're going to backup quarterbacks.
Would
now?
you like to hear the 10 best
I would,
backup
actually.
quarterbacks in the country? We have Dylan Raiola,
Okay.
and they're not in order. They're just 10 of them.
Sure.
Okay. So Dylan Raiola, obviously with the production behind him that he's had in his career, well equipped to be a backup quarterback. David St. Clair at Ohio State, who
could end up being the starter because boring Julian Sand might not keep that job.
what if Julian Sand was the backup quarterback? Would you say, wow, they have a great backup quarterback? I'd be
Seems
curious.
like a good backup quarterback to have. He could put teams to sleep.
People do think that this the St. Clair guy is going to make a run at this.
Max is one of those people
Austin Mack or Keelan Russell from
who doesn't ever
Alabama.
win or who doesn't win the Alabama job, basically.
Correct. Deuce Knight at Ole Miss,
Okay.
who started a game at Auburn last
I was gonna say,
year.
I knew that he was at Auburn. When did he end up at Ole Miss?
Now he's at Ole Miss, unfortunately sitting behind ninth-year quarterback Trinidad Chambliss.
Who needed an extra year?
Keyshawn Henderson from Houston, the number 1 overall recruit in the 2026 class.
Yeah, that kid's good.
Eli Holstein, who's at Virginia. He was at Pitt. Like he was benched at Pitt last
Oh,
year.
okay.
and now he's the backup quarterback at Virginia. How about this name? Bird Ficklin. Are you ready for some Bird Ficklin?
Yeah, he's at Utah. Is that what I'm seeing here?
Put in Bird Ficklin. Yes, he is Devin Dampier's backup.
Might be necessary.
Yeah, maybe. He runs around a lot. Mikey Keene at Arizona State. Amari Odom at Syracuse. Braden Fowler Nicolosi at Michigan. And he was at Colorado State. He was a starter at Colorado State, I believe, before that. So now there's your best 10 backup quarterbacks in the country. Awesome.
Not that I needed him to be listed, but I feel like TJ Lateef is at least in a better spot than Nebraska normally finds itself.
What's this? I'm reading?
Backup
Honorable
quarterback.
mention, TJ. No. Just,
That would have been amazing.
he got honorable mention, best backup quarterback.
That would have been impressive.
That'd be really, really funny.
Honestly, though, like in the situation they find themselves, TJ Lateef as your backup quarterback is
It's a great thing.
better spot than, I feel like I take a lot of shots at him. He was the lowest quarterback on my rankings, but better than having Andrew Bunch as your backup quarterback.
Much.
So,
Much.
and
Nebraska's backup quarterback is probably better than most backup quarterbacks from an experience
Kalen,
standpoint. Yeah.
And so the thing with Lateef and hearing it from different people who have been over there this spring or talked with him or whatever, there's just, I think, a lot more comfortable and confident than sort of being the backup last year as a freshman, where he surprised people of how ready he was to play.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that he was ready to play.
Well, unfortunately for him, he threw those touchdowns against Houston Christian, and then his career was never the same.
And the TVs were formed.
The TV, they started poking through.
Yeah.
And
They wanted more.
Oh yeah, they were impacted.
We'll always have the UCLA game.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Okay. So based off of that, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Get out, Joey, get out your prediction sheet.
All right.
I'm gonna force Schaefer
Hold
into a prediction.
You say force, but I love making
Or
predictions.
proclamation.
And those.
It's you could make the case that this is either of those.
If I get to sign something,
No, it's not a sign or
Okay.
roll type of situation. I
like
love
to-
those.
I
love
like to
those.
say that I'm signing for something and you to be like, that's not, you don't know.
I love the sign or roll situations. I will definitely come up with more of those for you this summer. But I have this right now. Predict Nebraska's 2027 quarterback room.
Well, okay. The easiest one on there is Trey Taylor.
Yes, he will be in there.
I am at I don't know. It's not even zero. I might be at a negative percentage of the idea that he's not ending up at Nebraska.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure of that too. I mean,
I've heard
unless
people
it
make their
goes
cases-
way off the rails.
It won't. He's going to be at Nebraska.
Okay.
So
But what if it goes way off the rails?
he'll still be at Nebraska.
All right.
Because Matt Rule's still going to be at Nebraska.
Funny enough, I agree with you. He is, if you're putting percentage confidence points or whatever it was on
We need to do more.
who's
with
going to
points.
who's going to be in there for sure, the most likely person to be in the room is the guy who's not in the room right now, Trey Taylor. Yeah.
So I definitely have him in there. The guy that's maybe next for me, this might catch people by surprise. It might make sense. I would be a little surprised if Daniel Kalen transfers for a third time. The only thing being, I guess, if he were to go to South Dakota State and maybe replaces Chase Mason or something for Dan Jackson,
That could be fun.
there could be something there, maybe. Otherwise,
If he just decides he wants to play.
it
Yeah.
strikes me as he consciously came back to Nebraska knowing that this was very likely a competition for being the backup quarterback in 2027 or competing potentially to be a one-year starter in 2027 or the gap guy for Trey Taylor, however you want to view it as. So I would put Kalen as the next person that I have in there. And then you get into two very different sides of the coin. Lateef, who by all accounts really likes being at Nebraska, is comfortable coming back here, even though he's not expected to be the starter. Would he continue to have that attitude next year? And then you have Calandria, where I don't know if 5 for 5 is definitely going to pass. I don't know if Nebraska is going to want him back. I don't know if he's going to play well enough to come back.
I mean, doesn't it feel like Calandria Lateef is very much one or the other?
Yeah, it does.
There's no way you have both again, right?
It doesn't seem like you would.
Like
And
if you're
have
TJ Lateef, why are you sticking around for another year? And then with Trey
Unless-
Taylor nipping on your heels
Unless
already.
you just really are comfortable, but it seems like a guy like that is at some point going to want the opportunity to be the starter. I think if Latif is here, he's taken the job from Calandria / an injury occurred.
Yes.
And if Calandria is here, it's 5 for 5 has passed, and Nebraska thinks that 2027 is their year that they can make the most hay.
What if it works out where like Calandria goes ham this year and he takes like an SEC, he goes to an SEC school?
It's hardly possible.
Mhm.
I mean, you cannot rule anything like that out at all. I don't think that's going to happen, because if there's one thing that I think Nebraska does pretty well for the most part, it's if they think you're good enough, you're going to get paid here. You're not like the chances of someone money whipping you into the SEC when Nebraska will just money whip you into staying in Lincoln. I'd be surprised by that.
Is there a world where, I mean, what is the percentage chance that TJ Latif is ever Nebraska's full-time starting quarterback?
Okay. Percentage chance. I think it's about 20, but okay, so full-time like goes into the year as a presumed starter? Or
Yeah, I suppose.
because
Or
here's the thing,
yeah,
there's
injuries.
two routes where he's a starter this upcoming season.
Yeah, so I guess I'm saying goes into the year, because
Okay.
what I am saying is like, hey, if Calandria gets hurt this year and it's a long-term thing, Latif comes in, does he go into next year being the obvious starter, or is it a wide open deal with Calandria if he comes back / Trey Taylor? I would think it would be.
Kalen.
I would think it would be that, right?
Yeah,
I don't think there's a world where it's like, yes, TJ
the only
Latif
way
goes.
is if he takes over and then he's good.
Right.
Because
But like he has to be really good.
right. It just has to sort of be like you were clearly better with him, and people have to see the upside that they didn't get to see last November when he was banged up and the offense didn't really operate how you wanted to. Like he couldn't run. I looked more at what happened last November from his standpoint, certainly not Holgerson's, but from his standpoint of Nebraska was asking him to do a lot when he couldn't even run. And when you take that out for a freshman quarterback, then you're asking him to be able to scan the field and throw against Iowa and Penn State's defenses, which, say whatever you want about Penn State, they still have more talent than most of the teams on Nebraska.
Oh, it made a difference for sure.
So and then Utah on top of it, a team that was, a top 15 team in the country.
Maybe
So,
Nebraska could just go into a November without an injured quarterback one of these years.
would be something to try. I don't
Is
know how
this
you
year
do
the year? I don't know. Their quarterback is smaller and runnier than ever.
Ruddier than ever. So I would say it's like a 5% maybe that Latif could come into 2027 unquestioned. Because if anything, it's a car pile up of quarterback competition. It doesn't seem likely that if he ends up starting this year, that he would play so well. But I don't want to rule out the possibility that he could just end up with the job. Like there's definitely a world where he's the quarterback at the end of 2026. Whether that means he's a guy for 27, I don't know.
If it stays status quo, if we go on throughout this year and Calandria is your starter, and I suppose Calandria, I think I'm counting this as part of status quo. Calandria gets the 5th year, like everybody I think is going to get. The most likely guy to not be involved in next year's
Would be Latif. Yeah. And so then you're talking like Calandria, Kalen, Taylor.
Right.
Which is still pretty good quarterback.
No, it's still really good.
You have a multi-year starter, a backup that you'd feel okay about, or effectively the true freshman that's the prince that is promised.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what you want to avoid is a repeat of what happened with Dylan, and I think you want to avoid Trey Taylor having to be your starter at the beginning of 27.
Please.
And I like Trey. I think the future's really bright
And
there.
it's going
I
to
just don't want it to be forced on him.
It's going to be very loud in that category.
yeah.
You're going to want to do it. Don't do it. Learn from mistakes of the past. It's there's just too much to have to go through for a young, really, really young guy for a short period of time. He's advanced in his polish and all those different things, but I just don't. Yeah, I don't think it's advantageous for his development to start his freshman year. Just not. Maybe his redshirt freshman year, but not his true freshman year. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back with Michael Bruntz. We'll ask him about some baseball items as we look ahead to tonight. And what was the question that we had for him?
Sneaking into stadiums.
Yeah, sneaking into
yes.
stadiums. The G-Fed conversation.
Has he snuck into any stadiums lately? Right after this on 1620 The Zone.
Broncos country, let's ride.
The Bronx is back in town. The Bronx is back in town. I said the Bronx is back in town. The Bronx is back in town. The Bronx is back in town. Bronx is back in town. Bronx is back in town. Bronx is back in town.
Michael Brooks, Husker 24/7 on Happer and Schaefer, 1620 The Zone.
All right, joined now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline by our good friend Michael Brunts from Husker 24/7. Hello, Michael.
How's it going?
Good. Do you know the breaking news?
No, I don't. What is it?
This is good.
Me.
We are back to the Michael Brunts only joins the show during breaking news time. This is a good one.
Does Schaefer know that bit?
I don't know the bit.
Yeah, so when Brunts would come on the midday show, something big in the world would always be happening for whatever reason. I think it was the Queen died, and UCLA and USC moved to the Big Ten.
This seems bigger than the Queen.
Those are the only ones that matter.
Yeah, those are the big ones.
This is bigger than the Queen, less big than UCLA and USC.
Okay. All right, we'll let Brunts be the judge of that. Dusty May, the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines, is no longer the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines. Reportedly, he's off to the Dallas Mavericks to be their head coach.
Good for him.
Hooray!
Yeah. Is that, that probably isn't bigger than USC, UCLA, is it?
No, that's not bigger than USC, UCLA, but I think it's bigger than the Queen.
Bigger than the Queen? I mean, that was pretty big.
Wow.
I mean, okay, but from the standpoint that we no longer care about anything that the royal family does.
Okay, it's things that matter to you. Sure. Yeah, this one definitely.
Perspective. This is bigger. This is bigger than the Queen.
I think Dusty May's still bigger than the Queen. Who cares about England?
Dusty May in general is bigger than the Queen.
Agreed. How many titles did the Queen win?
I don't know. The head coach of the Dallas Mavericks is bigger than the Queen.
Well, now the Dallas Mavericks, but before it was Michigan.
All right, Brunts, do your Michigan basketball hot board. Let's hear it.
Ooh, John Beilein, is he out?
I just checked. Back? He's 73.
He could come back.
Okay. He could come. That's not disqualifying. Is there a washed-up NBA coach that could come back and do it? Help me out here.
Well, I mean, the first thing, what Michigan fans are going to say within the next 4 minutes is you have to make Brad Stevens say no, which is, I'm excited for that.
But he's not a Michigan man. They got to go get a Michigan man.
But he's a great coach.
Doesn't matter, Brett. Yeah. Any job, Brad Stevens has to say no. That's where you start first.
You just have
Brad Stevens, nope. Okay, we can go to. It's like a choose your own adventure thing, but you always start with Brad Stevens. It's always no. So, let's see. There's got to be somebody washed up that went to Michigan that they could hire, right?
Bring Juwan Howard back.
What's funny is this opens up the Michigan's transfer portal window.
Oh.
And their roster could just get picked apart by people who have money left if they wanted.
Interesting.
That could be fun. For me, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there any... Who's an obvious name?
There's not really. I feel like college basketball kind of lacks
Steve Fisher. Right can he come?
You're obligated to have Mark Few somewhere on that board, right? Isn't he part of it usually?
Ooh, good one. Yeah.
He turns a lot of that down.
Brian Dutcher, he could he is he looking to get out of San Diego State finally or something like that? I mean, you could, I don't know, just think of successful coaches that Michigan is going to want to go up for.
Will they go the Whittingham route where they're looking for an older established coach that won't hurt their image?
Izzo?
That would what's the basketball version of falling up with the head coach there? So because that would be
okay
to really complete the full Whittingham there. You would need somebody that would actually be a better hire than who you had.
Who is doing a basketball Whittingham?
Well, I don't know that you're getting a better hire than Dusty May at the moment.
Well, I mean, you could go to Greg McDermott. You could make a call.
He is available.
What kind of qualities are you looking for in a Michigan basketball coach? Somebody maybe hard-nosed, somebody with a little bit of
a little bit of swagger.
Brunson's
Maybe
cooking
somebody
here.
that's not afraid to mix it up with the media a little bit. Is Mick Cronin? Is he an option here?
That'd be awesome.
I would
He'd
laugh.
become the greatest Michigan man of
They
all
would
time.
be so mad. You go from Dusty May to Mick Cronin. Mick Cronin's a good basketball coach, but from a personality standpoint, that is a wildly different
Or
experience.
does Michigan decide to call the reigning Big Ten Coach of the Year, Fred Hoiberg?
Oh no!
Make a call.
What's Dan Hurley doing?
Well, he's pretty good. He was in the national championship
right.
again, but yeah, I don't know.
Is it Tommy Lloyd?
Tommy Lloyd.
Could it be Tommy Lloyd?
This we have put together successfully what the hot board exactly is going to look like. Bryce.
Wow.
If you go to the Michigan 24/7 site right now, all those names will be on there.
Do they have a former player from the 2000s that would fit as like the coach that you could bring in?
Nick
now?
Stauskas.
Yes, he's not doing anything. He couldn't be any worse at that than he was as a Peacock announcer.
Is there like a Scott Drew or like a Todd Golden that would move at this point? Like I'm just trying to think of names that are like in that same ballpark.
Golden was rumored for
They would have been.
the Golden State job if Kerr had left.
Yeah, it feels like he could potentially have some NBA going.
So you might be on the right track.
Scott
there.
Drew, for whatever reason, just feel like you cannot get him out of there.
Do you have to include Ben McCollum just because he's a name now at this point?
Yep. You got to make him
TJ
say no.
Holzberger is probably going to get another contract extension out of this.
Oh,
right?
he
That's
definitely
a
is.
good one.
He definitely is. He just got an extension like 6 weeks ago. He's getting another one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all those names.
I think we solved it here, guys.
We
did it.
covered it again. That much is for sure. All right, Brunts. What's going on? What have we been
Sneaking into stadiums. Let's get this.
Oh yeah.
When's the last stadium that you successfully snuck into? I know this is a thing that you used to do a lot more.
It's been a while. Man, when was the last time? Well, I walked into Cal's stadium in the middle of a practice. The security wasn't too tight there. Just walked right down the tunnel. Nobody said anything.
Were you heckling? Were you like, "Hey, Wilcox, nice defense"?
Yeah, no, it wasn't any of that. Probably the most significant one that I ever did was Oklahoma State. And there's a guy online that's his bit now.
Yes, he was in
This is
Omaha.
how you came up.
He
yeah.
was in Omaha yesterday.
Okay, yeah, no, for me, it was probably the Oklahoma State one where wandered around in the football stadium for a bit. Somehow ended up in Gallagher Iba. They've got like in between. They have like a Hall of Fame with all of like the Cowboy, Pistol Pete stuff and famous stuff from the athletics history there. Walked around in there. I think those are probably the main. That was probably the most. I was in there for like an hour, just kind of walking around. So, but not recently. I don't think I've done recently.
That part of your life is over.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
if you ever
Sorry.
sneak through a stadium again, just
Yeah.
let us know. We'll love to see any of
That
that.
guy's been banned by like Major League Baseball and like a few other like professional leagues for doing that, from what I understand.
Yeah, so I guess according to him, like the second he showed up at the stadium yesterday, the Omaha either NCAA or like Mecca security came up to him and they were like, "Hey, just so you know, we're watching you. You're not staying in this stadium tonight, buddy." Which
Wow.
I think it's a great warning shot just to fire things up.
You know, they used to like when the World Series was at Rosenblatt, they used to have people that would come in on vacation. Like they would take vacation and work grounds crew, and they would let them stay in the stadium. Like that, I interviewed a guy when I entered the World Herald. I interviewed a guy that slept in the visitors' clubhouse like for the entirety of the series,
Incredible.
and then like worked the grounds crew during the day.
See, that's what we missed when we got rid of Rosenblatt.
You were
Yeah.
telling on the broadcast, there's a student from Santa Barbara that's working the grounds crew.
Yes.
That also
Yes.
does like the broadcasts for Santa Barbara baseball.
I believe
right?
that is correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's wild.
And we have several
Yeah.
Creighton baseball players on the crew yet again this year. All right, Bruns. So let's get to. By the way, how much have you watched of the College World Series? You're a big college baseball guy, but how much have you taken in this year?
5 innings total, maybe.
I was gonna guess 3
Well,
innings or less.
On your behalf, I mean, there has not been a lot going on. It's been
a little sleepy, hasn't it? That's what I'm hearing in the street.
Will you watch a winner-take-all final tonight?
Yes, I will. I will watch tonight.
Okay.
The streets of Lincoln are talking about the College World Series?
No, just the streets. I didn't say where. Just the streets.
Just the streets.
Out the street.
Brutz is in the Battle of the Boneyard streets. What were some of your takeaways from Saturday night inside instead of outside near Memorial Stadium?
Yeah, a lot of rain. It was. I felt like the depth of talent was better this year. I know I talked to a few guys that run 7-on-7 programs that were there this year that weren't able to come up the first year. And I mean, if Nebraska wants to keep doing this event, I think a lot of those 7-on-7 programs are going to keep coming because, it's unique in that it's, completely, run by Nebraska. Adidas has a huge hand in it too. It's really well run, which, as you guys can probably imagine, is not always the case at those types of events. And it was, you didn't kind of have like the Trey Taylor Nebraska connection to kind of add to it like you did the first year. But I mean, Izzy Abrams coming up and throwing and playing with his team from Chicago was pretty unique and pretty cool. I mean, he's ranked right behind Taylor in the 24/7 Sports rankings. I think they're 9 and 10 overall and 1 and 2 in the quarterback rankings. And it was. I was thinking about it, and this week, if you went to the 7-on-7 tournament that NED Preps ran up in Omaha, you got to see Braylon Warren. You saw Trey Taylor. Then you get Izzy Abrams down in Lincoln on Saturday. So you saw 3 Elite 11 quarterbacks in the span of about 72 hours there, which is pretty cool and just kind of gives you, especially with Taylor and with Abrams. I mean, and I think Braylon Warren looked good too, but just the way those guys run a 7-on-7 setting and the amount of velocity and touch that they're able to throw with, it's pretty cool to see that up close and kind of get a sense of what that really looks like. So I thought the event was pretty well done. I thought they pivoted pretty well with the weather concerns and everything else. I think Nebraska's up to almost 20 offers that they've made to various players from that event. And that's kind of the benefit of it too. I mean, you're bringing, high 4-star talent to Lincoln. You basically get a, 6-hour eval of these guys and a chance to kind of meet them and just kind of show them around your campus. And these are guys that probably wouldn't have a chance to get to Nebraska easily anyway. So I think it's a really good event. And I thought it was pretty good on Saturday for the most part.
Does this event, Bruns, have like staying power, sort of the way those first couple Friday Night Lights weren't particularly strong, but it led to things like Cam Jurgens and what have you. And then, at the end of the Riley era, the Friday Night Lights was a huge deal. Do you think this has sort of a staying power or a thing that, Matt Rule can kind of put his stamp on for the summer months and the way Big Red Weekend and Friday Night Lights used to be for previous coaches?
Yeah, I think just kind of the recruiting calendar and the way of things killed Friday Night Lights. I mean, as time went on, it seemed like you had a little less of the caliber and kind of the star power coming through for that event. I think the fans kind of ran its course with the fans too. But having Adidas involved as a partner in that event is huge because a lot of these programs are Adidas affiliated. Where it falls on the calendar, I think is actually pretty good in terms of, being able to get a lot of programs up to Lincoln. And, when Nebraska did the first one last year, I heard from player personnel folks around the country where they were kind of asking about the event and how Nebraska was able to put it together. And I think there was a little bit of this sense that Nebraska might have been onto something and you would maybe see some copycats with it. But I think the fact that you do have Adidas backing it is huge. And, I think there is some staying power with it for that reason. I mean, there's always going to be 7-on-7 programs. And I think too, like I said, I mean, the fact that it's so well organized, games were starting on time for the most part. That I heard that from multiple teams that like, okay, this is a pretty well done event. And so I think there is staying power there. And it kind of flew under the radar a little bit, but Nebraska had a big man competition camp early in the morning, and it wasn't a huge group, but a lot of those programs are also tied in with really good offensive linemen, and you saw a number of offers go up from that too. So Nebraska's actually kind of expanding what they're doing with that event as well. So I definitely think you'll see it again. It's a lot of work, but I think there's a lot of payoff for Nebraska.
All right, Brents, one more piece of breaking news before we let you go. They got a commitment now from Barrett Cottrell, who chose Nebraska over Iowa. So there you go. Now you could whatever you're about to type into your computer, you could just say to us and then type it in your computer afterwards.
Yeah, it's is that bigger than that's probably bigger than Dusty May, right?
Bigger than Dusty May.
Well, we put that behind Dusty May, but certainly bigger than the Queen.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's I think a good win for Nebraska. I think the tendency would be to look at that recruitment, say, Husker legacy. Of course they were going to beat out Iowa for him. Like I don't know that was necessarily a slam dunk by any means. I think Iowa did a really good job of recruiting him throughout, and I think Jeep Wade did a very nice job of kind of getting Nebraska back into that recruitment. And I think with the official visit that he took, there was a lot of questions about, okay, where do you see me? Like, what is my road at Nebraska kind of look like? Because originally it was like, well, maybe interior, possibly a center, but Nebraska sees him as a guy that can play any spot along the offensive line. And I think, over the last year or so, he's kind of grown into that kind of a prospect. He's put on good weight, good size. He moves really well for that size as well. So there's some versatility there, but I mean, I think that was a really important in-state win. And, again, like I said, I think that was one that Nebraska really kind of needed to kind of get back into a little bit over the spring, and they were able to get it done.
All right, Brents, we'll let you go. Appreciate you dropping by and creating our Michigan hot board with us. We'll use that going forward.
Yeah, anytime, guys.
Michael Brents, Husker 24/7. Barrett Cottrell, the Ashland Greenwood prospect, is committed to Nebraska. Another one in the books for Jeep.
21 commitment.
Jeepers Creepers, people are saying.
Oh, wow.
Holy Jeep. All right, I'm out.
Look, the Jeepers Creepers was good. I think that one's good.
Thank you. I appreciate
Stick
that.
with that.
When we come back, we will discuss all of the potential replacements at Michigan for Dusty May. Yes, that's right. In case you didn't hear it, breaking news.
Huge guy?
Dusty May is headed to the Dallas Mavericks. Also, I am on thewolverine.com reading message board thread titles.
Oh, no.
Exciting stuff. We'll have that to finish things out next on 1620 The Zone. All right. So first of all, we are talking about new Nebraska commitment, Barrett Kittrell. Barrett Kittrell from Ashland Greenwood. Shout out to the Blue Jays. Are they Blue Space Jays or are they Blue No Space Jays?
Believe they are No Space Jays.
Good call by them.
Let's check on this.
Great call by them if that is the case.
One of the things I have learned here at the station, besides constantly getting Creighton's wrong,
no space.
I would get Storm Chasers wrong because I want
you want it to be one word.
Yeah, I would put it in as one word or no.
It is two words.
Yeah.
Storm dash chaser.
Yeah, so I'm making it just one word.
Yeah.
And then I always have to go back and correct it into two words.
Interesting.
But then with Creighton, I have to go back and
you do it the opposite way?
Yeah. It's very confusing to me why I can't just
you space Blue
right.
Jays.
I space Blue Jays because
you don't
of Toronto.
space Storm Chasers.
But it doesn't make any sense.
It's the opposite.
I know.
You're exactly wrong.
So I'm writing our illustrious newsletter, which you should sign up for.
It's beautiful.
And you could get every Friday.
Almost no grammatical errors.
Almost none. And I have to think about it every time because I'm constantly writing about the Creighton Blue Jays.
Blue, no space.
And the
Jays.
Omaha Storm Chasers.
Space Chasers.
And I need to get these right.
Maybe they should do that. Should be one of their alternate identities going forward. The Storm Space
Chasers?
The Storm Space Chasers.
Storm Spacers?
Storm Space Chasers.
Wow.
I mean, there's been worse ideas.
Yeah.
Speaking of ideas, let's head to the Michigan Wolverines message board.
Oh.
Do you think I should hit refresh here? Because I
Yes.
haven't done that in the last 8 minutes. Let's go to thewolverine.com. Here, I will read you the first several threads that I see on this website. Josh Schertz is the obvious call. This should be a really easy decision if winning is what we care about. I love when people do that. If we really care about winning, we would hire this guy. And it's just the guy they like. In this case, it is the coach at St. Louis. Headline number 2, can't decide. Nope. Headline number 3, ridiculous, ... and some intel on some names. Ooh, I'm going to click on that one. Who's next? The 5 Michigan. This is from, these are official visitors.
Yeah. You got to be careful. It's not all basketball.
There must be one thing at Michigan coaches don't like. Don't be lazy. Have a brain. Fire ward manual. Unfathomable.
Here's a hot board.
This is great.
Here's a fan's hot board.
Yeah, what does he got?
Mike Boynton, Josh Schertz,
Yeah.
Billy Donovan,
Yeah.
Nico Medved.
How in the hell is Brad Stevens not on that list?
People have given up on Brad Stevens.
You have to make Brad Stevens.
They don't
say
want
no.
him anymore.
So I would imagine
Nate Oates' name has been mentioned.
So aren't they going to be in a situation where they go interim this year? I mean, it's just too late.
Seems like it would be.
You have to go interim this year.
My guess is you look at it and you're like, is there someone's coach that we could get where he's just going to bring his team with him to Michigan if we lose all these players? Or is there someone we can get to keep what we have? Because they have a good crop of players that came in with them.
Yeah. So the rule is this year on the transfer portal, when a head coaching change occurs, a 15-day period will open 5 days after the new head coach is hired or publicly announced. If a new head coach is not announced within 30 days of the previous head coach's departure, a 15-day window will open. If you guys understood any of that. Once again, the portal window doesn't open for the Michigan players until after the new head coach is hired. Which I think is a great idea because it prevents literally everyone from going into the portal while the search is going on. Now, once again, I have some doubts as to whether Michigan is going to actually conduct a national search right now and end up with a coach of significance at this exact moment. I would imagine that they probably end up with an interim. But we've seen crazier things. Maybe we get a nice little reboot to the basketball coaching carousel here in late June with practices starting in about 6 weeks. This is exciting. And I
Yeah.
hate to see bad things happen to Michigan.
Hooray!
Oh no.
I'm so broken up about this.
This stinks.
I'm very, very broken up about it.
As
Blackhead
a
says,
Big Ten fan and a Big Ten fan first, this is the worst news that I could have gotten.
Blackhead says, got to make Mac say no.
I don't know if he's even really like on the minds of people.
That would be crazy. I mean, that would be
That
wild.
would be wild.
They try to get Fred Hoiberg, but Jim Polon will step in and say no.
Would you? Wouldn't it be Dana Altman? He'd make a call up to his great
No,
friend,
never Dana Altman.
What, Gretchen Whitmer? Those two talk all the time.
I mean, you got it. Yeah, I don't know. This will be a fascinating one. I love a good coaching search, especially
How
one
would you
after
feel
they.
if it was McDermott? Would that be like a weird like?
It'd be very odd.
Would
Yeah.
you then root for Michigan?
I'd root for Mac, but I don't know.
Love to hear this.
It'd be very difficult.
This would be a
I
tough
hope the
situation for
coach
me.
is great, and they lose every game.
You know
by
those
one.
movies where there's the lasers and
Sure,
if you
yeah.
trip on the lasers,
yeah.
then
Oh, the light
the
shows?
alarm goes
You
off.
got to get.
That's like me trying to root for Greg McDermott, who is maybe the coach of Michigan. Oh, the alarm went off.
I for years admired Greg McDermott while never once rooting for his success. So I can teach you.
Yeah,
It's
you're
pretty
really
easy.
you're really good at this part of it.
It's
actually.
not hard.
Uh,
Like, hey, that seems like a good guy. I'd play golf with him.
Let's take a call from Creighton Andrew. Hello, Creighton Andrew.
Hello, boys. They can have Altman's not at the same level as McDermott. McDermott would hurt if he went to Michigan. I
Yeah,
wouldn't care about him.
it'd
Well,
be
you've
a-
already seen Altman leave for Arkansas and Oregon in your lifetime, so it's not like that would hurt you.
No, that would mean nothing. He's dead to me. I guess the uniform change happened this weekend, and it was kind of anticlimactic. But do you think the helmets are always off limits?
yes.
Would-
I don't.
would you-
Yeah, not the all the time helmets. They should not be changed.
I agree.
They could do an alternate helmet, but not with the everyday helmet.
Why not? Why not a little spicing it up, boys?
What would you do, Andrew? What would you make it? Would you put a big blue jay on there? Something
Well,
like that.
no. But I've seen some renderings of like the throwing the bones or the corn helmet. I thought was kind of neat. I've seen renderings of that. There's a lot you can do.
But why?
I mean,
But why?
but I'll tell you why. Because the Nebraska program isn't the same old Nebraska program that represented the greatness that was on the helmet.
Would you rather not have a tie back to that greatness, or does it seem better to you if they had a corn on
Yeah,
their
why would you
helmet?
just immediately make the helmets worse, just like knowingly?
Your football program's already worse. Why make the helmets worse?
I think you can't live in the past. You got to live in the now.
Start over. Maybe change. Thank you for the call, Andrew. Maybe change the school colors to green. You can't live in the past.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch the helmet. I also, wouldn't mess with I'd have pretty traditional jerseys other than whenever you do your alternates. But
Yeah,
the
don't touch
helmet
your
I would
helmet.
not touch.
Don't touch
the
it.
helmet, not to use this word, but it's iconic.
Also, the red, like you can't do. It's hard to do it better than what it is. Like I just think it's a great helmet.
Classic looking.
Yeah, I mean,
Simple.
If I'm pretty sure they would screw it up if they tried to do a new helmet. It would be red.
They
would be-
here being Adidas.
It would be terrible. They're
famously
terrible.
known for their great uniforms.
Absolutely.
They're terrible.
I would not enjoy that very much.
I wouldn't touch it. I would just leave the helmet alone.
All right, so we have 1 minute to talk about what's going to happen tonight in Game 3, the very last sporting event in the college athletics calendar of 2026. North Carolina or Oklahoma?
Here are things I think happens. Oklahoma scores first. North Carolina scores last. North Carolina wins 5-3.
5-3. Does Caden Glauber pitch in the game?
I'm gonna say yes.
I mean, I convinced you on it.
You did.
It's like he's definitely coming.
Why
in tonight.
if they're in a 5-3 game, they're pitching.
I cannot wait to talk about arm health tomorrow.
Who you got?
Very exciting. North Carolina. The Heels are
Staying
able to put it
consistent.
together for one more night. That's going to do it for us today. We're going to send it over to Matt McMaster at the Omaha Baseball Village. You can go out there and join him before Game 3 of the National Championship Series tonight. Appreciate you listening. Talk to you tomorrow.